Hello, welcome back to Arsenal podcast.
You're such a bellend, man.
So I had to do it. Get you ready for Friday.
Do you know what?
Oh,
I'm not even. I'm just. I don't even know anymore.
mate, I feel your pain. As you know, I was watching the game
I know,
earlier.
I know.
Jesus Christ!
I was because I had the game on my phone when I was working, and I just had it by my workstation and shit. And at some points, I'm not surprised, but at the same time, it's all right. We'll start with a few of them that are utter wank. Hendry, for a start.
I'm just going to relax here 1 second. I'm going to get comfortable.
I mean, why is he shooting from outside the box?
Thank you.
Why?
I
don't understand. And the other thing is, why is O'Donnell not tracking runs? Do wingbacks not supposed to track runners now? Is that what we're doing now?
Well, apparently it was just even the shot. Going back to the shot quickly, it's like it was the 89th minute or the 93rd minute plus a few seconds to go. It's like the desperate 1-0 need to get an equaliser. Just hit it from 45 to hope for the best.
Yeah,
but yeah, you said no one's covering no one.
Me, yeah. Don't think that I think that we played bad, because I don't think that's the case.
You didn't. That's the thing. You were the better team. I said in the stream, you were the better team. You had more the ball. You played better football. You just wasteful in your chances.
Exactly. Robbo was man of the match, mate. Him and Ryan Christie. And again, this is another thing that pissed me off. Why did Lyndon Dykes get a full 90 minutes and Ryan Christie's taken off at fucking halftime? Why?
You could ask the manager that one. He made Southgate look good today in his subs. That's saying something.
Don't get me wrong, Ryan. Yeah, I love everything that
Steve
Clarke is doing. I love what he's doing, because ultimately we've appointed managers based purely on reputation. Like, he got the job on merit.
Yeah.
What he did with Kilmarnock was unbelievable, and he got the job based off of that. And no one can tell me that he didn't deserve it, because he did.
Yeah, well, they've been relegated this season as well. Scotland, not Scotland. Kilmarnock, sorry.
Yeah.
So that says it all. That says how far they've dropped since he obviously, and even then, looking at Scotland since he's taken over, like you said, he knew what it was. It's a project, but you deservedly qualified by the way you did. And again, you've got some great players. Obviously, great in Tierney and obviously Robertson on the left-hand side when they're available.
Yeah.
But then it's just everyone else is just, I don't know. I mean, McGinn is another good player that you've got.
McGinn, class.
But it's just you've got some really average players. I mean, again, that bloody blonde-haired twat. How on earth did
man?
The amount he had 4 or 5 golden opportunities, and every time it was just like throw the limit and hope for the best.
Mate, my man makes fucking Giroud at Arsenal look good.
Yeah, exactly. Jesus Christ. The Scottish Giroud, and they're good one.
And you know how bad Giroud was at Arsenal. I know all the goals he scored in this and that, right? But let's be honest. There were times where Giroud was incredibly frustrating to watch in an Arsenal shirt. In fact, Lyndon Dykes makes Theo Walcott as a striker look good.
Brownie's in the chat, Cardiff fan, so he knows your pain about the goalkeeper side of things.
Okay. First things first, right? That's second goal, right?
It's fluke, don't get me wrong, but it's not his fault.
Yes, Marshall shouldn't be off his line like that, but at the same time, Hendry shouldn't be taking the shot where he did.
Yeah.
So I put that more on Hendry than I do Marshall.
Yeah. And I did that in the stream. Literally, if we weren't for Hendry doing that, everything else that happened doesn't happen, because obviously you still have the ball.
Yep.
And and again, the goalkeeper's only doing what he's been told. And when Scotland in possession, to come as high as possible. Obviously, the opposition gets ball, he would obviously track back. He weren't expecting someone to do what he did and then go, oh, by the way, boom.
If you watch the game as well, you'll notice that David Marshall made some clutch saves for us at crucial moments. So I don't think David Marshall played bad. I swear, if Lyndon Dykes starts against England, I'm done, because there's no way he should start based on that performance. That was horrendous, right? And honestly, if I'm picking a striker for Friday's game against England, it's Che Adams all day long.
I didn't get why he didn't start. I still don't get it. Because he came, he was more involved. He had more to do, and caused the defence a bit of a problem. He called our defence a problem. Now, Jesus Christ, ain't that hard, but still. But that Dyke fucking idiot, he'll be like fucking breezing apart. Literally, that's all you have to do.
There's a reason why it's a QPR, mate. There's a reason why it's a QPR.
Literally, all we'd have to do is get our four right backs and put them in the fucking defence, and that'd be that. That's how bad he was today.
Yeah, and if Hendry does what he did today against England, we'll get ripped to shreds. Because, I mean, all right, there may have been a chance that Patrick Schick might have missed it. Does Harry Kane miss that? No. Not a hope in hell, bro.
It's not just Harry Kane. There's a few of the England players that won't miss that. They get falls in the plate to them.
Sterling
would actually.
No. Sterling wouldn't. Do you know what I mean? This actually pisses me off now, because there's a myth going around that Sterling had a bad season. He didn't have a bad season.
I've not said he's had a bad season. I'll just say he does sometimes miss good opportunities. That's all I'm saying.
Well, yeah, I know that's what you're saying, but some people are saying that Sterling had a bad season. Let me tell you, he is playing in an extraordinary Manchester City side.
Look away now from us in the chat.
You know what? It's a good thing Russ and me are bros, because otherwise there'd be hell raised. All right?
Oh, dear. We've got Pete in the chat as well, Tottenham fan. He said, I saw your video last night about Tiny AFTV. Completely agree with you. They were a disgrace to him. It's not the first time. It's not going to be the last time either. We'll talk about that in a bit, actually.
What happened to that?
No. Well, basically, what was it? I'll get a clip up on my what's the name? Basically, Robbie was doing a watch along on his new channel, Don Robbie, for last night's game. And at the end, obviously, full time, and it was like, there's a because wasn't there a fourth? The other one, wasn't there a forfeit? Charlene, whatever the fucking name is. Oh, by the way, because you were Team Ukraine, you got to now drink 2 beers, and again, publicly knowing he doesn't drink alcohol, and he's a practicing Muslim in certain aspects of that, and obviously one of them being not drinking alcohol. They're both goading him and giving it the big I am, trying to get literally holding the beer, trying to force it down his throat on a live stream. One sec, I'll get it one sec.
Well, that's not
I'm saying that's not fair. Again, it's just everything associated with Robbie and AFTV in general. It's just what now? If was he playing? What was he thinking? One sec. Right, share. I'm going to share. But you are obviously disappointed with the result. Are you looking forward to Friday still? Are you now a bit on edge?
No, mate. It's Scotland, England. I'll always look forward to that game. I don't care if we lose like 2 games in a row. If Scotland, England was the 3rd game, I'd still look forward to it. That's where my mindset is. The only thing that worries me is to qualify, we would now have to win both the England game and the Croatia game.
Well,
I can see us drawing at least one of them.
Well, you say that, but it was obviously that the 4 top 3 teams in the groups and all that go through as well. So you're relying on Arsenal. Every time I go to Arsenal, I don't know why. England and Czech Republic to England and fucking Croatia to do the Czech Republic over, and at the same time you then got to do us over and do Croatia over as well at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Right, let's get started. So, if you've not seen this clip at all, then
No.
He doesn't look comfortable at all, by the way.
Oh, that's just cringe, man. That's just cringe, man. Oh.
He just not look comfortable. We can tell he doesn't want. He's just like, "What are you doing? Leave me alone." And I've seen tweets say, "Oh, look, if it was look, if it'd been the other way around, it'd be far more of an outcry." Like, what the hell? Da, 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 da. How can you do that to a woman? How can you do that to Charlene? Da, 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 da. No means no. But he's done it. There's a bit of an outcry. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, you've got the AFTV mob, like the ones that die hard, follow Robbie and all that, saying that anyone that fucking says what they're saying is like, "Well, you're bang out of order. What you on about? You all get in the bin and all that crap."
Nah, man. Nah. That was just uncomfortable to watch, bro.
Yeah. At least it wasn't just me then. But Pete said you missed the worst part. They were laughing at him for being a Muslim. Again, that's yet they get sponsorships on a fucking daily basis, and they're doing what they're doing.
They only get sponsorships because of the numbers they get, mate. Simple.
Mark Shon's in the chat, obviously. Big up, Mark. Hope your wife's not too disappointed after the Scottish result, by the way, because obviously she's a Rangers fan as well. Oh dear. But it's just ridiculous. I mean, by the way, the teams are out for the Spain-Sweden game as well, whether that's been played. How many teams are actually countries are actually hosting this tournament for fuck's sake? I mean, there have been times.
I don't know. I think the groups are like in like the home nations of the home side. I think that's how. I don't know. They're doing it in some weird way this year. I don't know. They're probably doing it this way because of the whole COVID. Because of COVID, that's probably a major factor. If this was just a regular if COVID never happened, I think you would have seen Euro 2020 in an independent country with the top two sides in each group progressing to the knockout stages as per normal. But
yeah, it's true.
Because it's COVID, because COVID happened, they've made allowances, which I don't understand why they've changed the format. I don't understand why. It's just bizarre to me. Because if you finish third, right, and you happen to get through to the knockout stages, that's basically a handout, is what that is.
Yeah, I can imagine, Mark. Don't worry. I was holding back myself. I've had to put a top on because I was on live, so I can't go topless because I'll get done by YouTube. But I'm literally red raw today. And Warren's joining us as well. Warren's going to join us, so prepare yourself. I've got another Englishman to deal with.
How do they manage to do that? They always find new and amazing ways to screw up. That was an unbelievable. I've got to say, that was an unbelievable strike. Even though I heard what you were saying about Edry and heard what you were saying about the keeper, but you've got to get that absolutely spot on. I mean, okay, he's hit it in oak, but the guy's had a look before he struck it. What a goal that is! To be hard pressed to beat that for the goal of the tournament.
To be fair, Warren, right? The whole reason he's looked up in it and thought, "Oh, I can have a pop here," is because the goalkeeper's off his line. Like if the goalkeeper's not off his line, he doesn't do that.
No, he doesn't. But I've got to say, in terms of quick thinking, I mean, you go hard pressed to see a better goal than that in the tournament this year. It'll be a screamer if it does. I mean, literally just inside the other half. It was, I was like, oh my God, where did that come from? I was watching at work. I sort of had it on. I was trying to answer my emails at the same time. And when I just looked up just at the right time, I was like, Jesus Christ. But I know, Cole, you might be, this may be a bit painful for you, mate, but I remember 1974 when the Scots were doing the alley army bit and they were going, England aren't going because they didn't qualify.
I
But
wasn't
you
even
never
born
see-
then, mate, so it's all good.
You know what you'll do, though, Colin? You'll have an absolutely ranked game against England and then you'll play Croatia off the park. Every single tournament, the last game of the tournament, I remember 78 when you battered the Dutch and almost
Yeah,
qualified.
that's true. That's true. Like the last tournament, like that I witnessed as like that Scotland being in was
98.
France 98, and I
Yeah.
just remember us getting absolutely battered by Argentina. Like
Yeah.
it was one of the most painful games I've ever watched, and it still is to this day. Like,
Well,
'cause when-
I said, well, you're lucky you weren't alive in 74, Colin. I don't know how old you are, mate, but you were lucky you weren't alive in 74 because they gave England short shrift, you know, with that didn't qualify, we were on the march with Ali's army. And then they drew with Iran and got battered by Peru. And everybody went very quiet.
Yeah.
But, you know,
To
you
be
look what
fair,
you...
though, I've been around, like, I've been to, like, you know, international games, like, abroad, because I still remember the game against Italy at the San Siro. I think that was 2005 or something like that. And that, from the flight to Italy was mad. Honestly, you had near enough everyone just like screaming and just screaming and shouting and going like Tartan Army, this, that, and the other. And when we actually got to the game, that the atmosphere that night was mental. It really was. It was mad. Like, you had flares going off in the crowd. You had riot cops around everywhere. I actually got to hold a riot stick and a riot shield. So there's one.
Jesus Christ.
Greenie, go check that out, mate. That was 74 because we drew 1-1 with Poland and we got knocked out. 74 was the Ali Army bit. 78 was when Willie Johnson got sent home for, I think he was taking some sort of drug that he shouldn't have done or whatever. I don't know whether it was drugs or whether he took some sort of aspirin. He got sent home. But 78, they played Holland off the park. They beat them 3-1. Archie Gemmell scored that marvellous goal. And they were 3-1 up, and they only needed another goal, and they would have got through. And then Johnny Rep scored a goal from about 30 yards out against Alan Ruff. Absolute screamer. But 74 was when they drew with Iran and lost to Peru.
Yeah. Although if I'm being honest though, Warren, this squad is probably the best we've had in a long time.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I think so. I think so, definitely. I mean, especially the days when. Do you remember when you had that one guy in the midfield? I'm trying to think who he was. Around about the 1990s, you had one decent centre midfielder, and you had some appalling players for a few years. I think you're right. This is the best squad you've had in years.
Mate, I still remember when we had Bertie Vogts as manager. Yeah, I've seen some
2000s
time. Believe me. Like, apart from making this competition, the best memory I've had, I mean, apart from obviously going to the San Siro, that was quite mint. But doing the double over, I think it was France.
Yeah, it was France.
Yeah.
Recently, France. Yeah.
Doing the double over France, that was proper mint. And to miss out on qualifying as well, that hurt. But at least I could take solace in the fact that, you know what, at least we've done something memorable.
I've got a question for you, Colin. Why didn't they? Because I was very impressed by Forrest when he came on.
Forrest, player.
I was very impressed by the impact he had when he came on. I thought the forward was terrible.
The thing about it, Warren, right, is, and I was saying this to my workmates as well, right? I don't know if you've noticed this, right? But Lyndon Dykes looks like an old man. He's got the grey hair. He's got pretty much everything. It's like he's going bald anyway. But
mate, I honestly, I was looking him up, going, "Who is this bloke?" First, mate, I thought it was a lesbian collective at first.
Oh God!
The thing is, though, right? If we're being honest, right, he plays second fiddle to Charlie Austin at QPR.
Yeah,
Those are the facts, right? And he's actually lucky he's got two very good players at QPR in Chris Willock and Charlie Austin to play off of.
Yeah.
We do not have a Charlie Austin up front.
No, I'll tell you what though, I'm a big fan of Armstrong. I think he's a very good player.
I like him as well. I like him as well. However, if we're being honest, Che Adams is our best striker. End of discussion.
Yeah. Well, you missed. I think you missed Tierney today as well, didn't you?
Yeah, that was that came before the game, and I think that was a bit of a shock to the team. So that's probably why the game went the way it went. And don't get me wrong, I'm not making an excuse because of that.
You had enough chances to get a point, though, mate.
Yeah. That's why I'm not using that as a crutch, right? However, I wouldn't say we were terrible.
No,
because we were.
No. I thought you edged it.
If you ask me, we were the better side throughout that 90 minutes.
Yeah.
I think you were just better than. I think you had better chances than they had, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. We just could not finish our dinner.
That one when he hit the goalkeeper's foot, mate.
I don't want to take credit away from the Czech goalkeeper because some of the saves that he was pulling off were worldly saves. That chance from Robbo in the first half, how he saved that, I've got no clue.
Yeah, but by the same token, the one where he put his foot out and saved it, I mean, you've got it as a player's got to bury that.
Yeah, Lyndon Dykes, he should have banged that, bro.
Greeny, you could be right. My apologies, mate.
But I mean, as Colin said, and as I was saying during the stream, Scotland deserved to get something out of it massively because you from the first second to the end. You had all the ball. You played a better football. We had more chances. It's just they had a free kick that went in. Obviously, the set piece that into the goal, header, and then that freak goal that killed the game. Really, as soon as that went in, that's sort of killed any sort of momentum you guys had to try and get back into the game.
Yeah.
And you noticed around the 60th.
I mean, I've got to say, you know, some people might say, but you know, it might be lucky that it went in. But my God, what a strike! You know, you got to have a dig deep. You know, it's like you.
Oh, his internet's playing up.
The thing about it is, though, right? And I don't want to not give credit where credit's due, right? Because their goalkeeper was fantastic. He really was.
But every opportunity.
I've got to drop out here, guys. I'm going to come out and come.
Oh no,
however, it would help if we didn't have a donkey up front.
Yeah, I was about to say, literally every golden opportunity you guys had, most of them basically fell to him. And he's just like so. He's just like it pissed me off. I'm not fully Scottish, so imagine what you guys are going through. Jesus Christ, he pissed me off.
This is why I don't like Lyndon Dykes playing up front for Scotland, bro. Because honestly, like he needs someone to play alongside him for him to flourish. Like there's a reason why Mark Warburton at QPR plays Charlie Austin next to him. There's a reason for that. Because he knows that he can't play up front on his own. Because if you look at where QPR were under Mark Warburton, before he changed to a back three with two up front, they were near bottom of the league.
Yeah, they're struggling massively.
And that was him, and that was with Lyndon Dykes up front on his own.
Yeah.
He can't play up front on his own. He can't. I'm sorry. Like, you know, when because
Surely Clark's got to see that, though, hasn't he? And
yeah,
one of them do your homework sort of thing.
he has to. Yeah. I mean, just don't get me wrong. Steve Clark's not blameless, but at the same time, I like what he's doing because, like I was saying to Ryan earlier, a lot of the managers we've appointed, we've appointed them solely on reputation, and that was one of the main criticisms that I had of the Scottish FA because they weren't thinking like, oh, let's appoint a manager based on what he's done rather than what he's achieved. We appointed Alex McLeish, right? And no one can tell me we didn't appoint him on reputation because
you did. Certainly didn't appoint him on results.
No, that was a reputation appointment. Same with Gordon Strachan. Yes, he might have done, good things for Celtic, right? But let's be honest. At the time, we didn't have the caliber of players that Celtic had at that time. So you got to think, is he the right man for the job? Steve Clark got the job on merit because of what he'd done with Kilmarnock. And look at where they are now.
Yeah, it's just been relegated as we were touching on earlier, yeah. But I'm just concerned for you because obviously you'll be on here for Friday's game. And if Clark, Steve Clark.
Bro, it's not even that. Bro, it's not even that, right? I can handle the banter with me and you.
Oh,
right?
yeah, of course, yeah.
Because we've known each other long enough to the point where I could just bat it off, yeah? But the morning after, right, I'm going to be on Albert's podcast at 12 o'clock in the afternoon the day after that. So I don't want to I don't need a lot. Oh my God, do you know, it's funny because, I mean, outside of you, Ryan, yeah? But it's funny because the minute Scotland get to a competition, I'm a wanted man out here.
You're on your own. You're there to be shot at, mate. And
I'm just looking at it, right? And I'm thinking to myself, you want me on your channels when Scotland get to a tournament, but the minute Arsenal start doing crap, you don't want to hear from me because the truth that comes out of this head. Nah, come on.
Mate, I'll tell you what, Colin, you got to laugh, mate, because I heard a good one today. Because just before the game, someone went, I was at work today, and one of the characters at work went, oh, Scotland will probably, it'll muck up in the group. Because he had a gnarly old boy, and he was like, well, Scotland will play brilliant in one game, be really poor in another, and be unlucky in the third one. And I turned around and he goes, as far as I'm concerned, the only player from Scotland who's ever got out of a group is Rod Stewart. Oh my God. He's a right character, but he's right. You do play really bad in one game in tournaments that I've seen. You play really bad in one game, you're fairly unlucky in another, and then you play outstanding in another game, but you never seem to quite get enough points to get out the group.
We've got two of the three today.
I think that Steve Clark's trying to change that.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, he's got the best group of young players for a long while.
Because, like I said, I like what he's doing. Like, he's bringing through the young kids. He's not picking players solely on reputation. Because we've had that problem with not just managers, but players as well. Like, because every single game, I remember this vividly as well, yeah. Sean Maloney would get picked every single game regardless.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I wasn't complaining because he was our best player at the time. However, there were games where he would get picked and he'd have absolute shockers, bro. Yeah. Like, oh my life. And don't get me wrong, I'm used to failure. Believe me, I'm used to failure. I watched us flop to Georgia, bro. Seriously. I watched us flop to Georgia. What tournament was that? Georgia, I think it was either the World Cup or the Euros. I can't remember which.
I mean, the Kazakhstan 3-0 was a...
Geez. Yeah, that was... ironically, that was round about the time that Steve Clark got appointed.
Yeah.
So we've turned the corner since then.
Yeah, certainly have. Yeah, I mean, you've come. I mean, only that, mate. I mean, I do a Jack Charlton if I were you. The thing you seem to be missing is a lethal forward. I'd honestly do a Jack Charlton and go and see if Jamie Vardy's got any Scottish ancestry anywhere down the line. You know what I mean? And stick him up top. I think you'd be pretty successful. Because your back four, your midfield, they're not bad. They're not bad.
No. Our defense and midfield is good. Our striker is horrendous, though.
Yeah.
Like when you look at the strikers we've got Che Adams, who's probably the better out of the two.
Yeah.
You've got. I mean, I don't even know if Lee Griffiths made the squad. If not,
he was in the stands today. I think he was in the stands today, so he must be. He was in the stands in the jacket and all that.
Yeah, and then you've got James Forrest as well. Like, there are better players in that squad than Lyndon Dykes. Like, I don't understand why he gets games. If you're not going to play a striker that complements him, and let's be clear, Ryan Christie is not a striker. He's a 10.
Don't sit on the fence, Russ.
Yeah, I'm not putting that comment because there's a piss bit. I'm not having it.
No. Go ahead. We're good.
Have you seen the? I don't know if you're watching this game, but honestly, Sweden have given away 11 free kicks in the first
already.
12 minutes. They're not having any of Spain at all. If we go anywhere near going past them, they're just chopping them down.
It's Italy took you over again.
Spain walloped them in the last game, so I can understand why.
They're letting them know they're about in this game. They're getting well stucky.
Yeah, Spain is just doing what they do. What we see at Man City. Oh, ball possession, pass it around the back, and hope for the best.
Yeah, that is what Luis Enrique's sides tend to do.
I'm not sure it'll be successful at this level.
No.
Not
with this bunch of players. You need to have a special bunch of players to do that. I wouldn't be surprised to see Spain make the quarterfinals, but I can't see them going too much. I can't see them in the final. I really can't.
No, they won't win it with Morata up front. Definitely not.
No, bloody hell, he's playing now. He's fucking all over the place.
He's up front on his own, I think, and that's Morata can't. I mean, okay, he can play it on his own because he's done it before. But
God, Sweden booting it long in the first 13 minutes. They're passing it to the Spanish goalkeeper.
He's so much more effective in the two because when you look at Morata's best seasons, like at Juve, he was class, and he played in a 2 with Tevez under Allegri, and Tevez was the main man up front, whereas Morata was kind of like the foil. But he did well. And I still remember that goal he scored in the Coppa Italia against AC Milan where he won the thing for them. So I'm not saying he's a bad player, but he just needs support.
He's not top draw. He really isn't.
He's not the type of striker that is going to lead the line on his own and win you games. He's not Harry Kane.
No, he's more Divock Origi than Harry Kane, isn't he? Sort of guy you bring on with about 20 minutes to go.
Oh dear. So I was going to say.
Oh, what a save!
Yeah, you're literally a bit behind me. I'm
behind it. I haven't seen a save yet.
Oh yeah, Sweden Olsen literally like 2-3 yards out header. He gets down because it's going like bottom corner, and he gets his hand to it, pushes out for the corner. But
I don't think he got enough on that.
How's it gone though? Because down up in Scotland with the whole having to play at midday when everyone's at school, work, college, university, and all that instead of a weekend. Yeah, I was going to say a lot of sickies today.
Most people got the day off. I didn't. I had to work, the little shits.
I was turning around and going, they're like, everybody will just be phoning in sick. Or taking half days holiday.
I would have thought, right? They would have just made the month like a national holiday.
Yeah.
Or at least make the games that are going to be, during the middle of the day. Give them, have half a day's holiday or a day holiday or whatever. Yeah, everybody finishes work at 1 o'clock. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And get home in time for the actual. Yeah,
this is our first tournament since '98, right? And I see Scott, and I see like loads of fucking Scottish flags and pubs and like shops and shit, and it's just like, why is it not a national holiday then?
Yeah. Ask Sturgeon. Ask Nicola.
Mate, don't even. Seriously, don't mix football with
Jimmy Cranky.
Shit goes awry.
Oh dear. Well, by the way, what's happening in Scotland, by the way, with the COVID situation? Because down here we've been told, it's not the 21st of June anymore. 19th of July is now the new date of freedom.
And then they'll put it back again and again, mate. I'm sick of this now.
No. And he's saying to us today, well, we've got to live with it now. Well, if we've got to live with it, why are you fucking putting things back, for fuck's sake?
Exactly that. If we've got to live with it, look, once you've had your 2 jabs, you know, and you've had a couple of weeks to make sure you're okay, if you catch it after that, it's no more than the flu. We Jimmy Cranky. I keep expecting him to come out in a school uniform with a cap on.
Oh God. But yeah, I mean, obviously you're gonna still be around for Friday, aren't you, Colin? No matter what.
Yeah.
I'll get a video just ready, just for you, for the
stream. No, don't do that. No, we're going to do this before, right? Listen, right? I can handle it if you do it. I can handle it if you do it on Friday, okay? Not now.
But don't do it after. Yeah, that's What is the feeling? While we're on the subject, what is the feeling up there with devolution and all that? But you've got this soul. Sturgeon wants to be a country all on her own, and what's the actual feeling up in Scotland about that?
Bruv, you're asking the wrong guy. I don't get into any of that.
Yeah, doesn't all mind her, Colin.
Yeah. Good game, that.
Yeah, fantastic game with your English.
Yeah, I was like the old Gascoigne dentist chair.
The Gascoigne, yeah, literally. What was it? Scotland got a penalty. Seaman saved it. 30 seconds later, the ball's in the Scottish net.
Yeah. To be fair, that was just a worldie, wasn't it? I mean, Gascoigne was that good. But now there was a player who was world class. That's a term that gets thrown about a lot. But during the time when he was good, he was world class. He dragged England almost to 2 finals. Without him, England would never have got anywhere near either either chance of getting to.
What was it? It was his free kick into the box of David Platt that got David Platt gets the goal against Belgium in 1990.
Yeah.
It was just his tournament. It was just everything that was good about that tournament was through him.
Yeah.
And obviously 96 was 96. And
magnificent play.
Again, to this, I don't understand Glenn Hoddle's decision to drop him for 98.
No.
That's David Batty.
If you think about it, right?
That worked out well, didn't it?
If you think about it, I mean, England and Scotland have a lot of similarities in terms of how the national team is run. Because I would say you guys have appointed managers based on reputation. You've picked players based on reputation. Wayne Rooney being one of them.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. We were speaking about this golden generation the other night, Colin. But I don't know whether you saw it, but we were going on about the Greek team that won the European Championships during that time. When Rooney, Lampard, Gerrard, and don't get me wrong, Greece were boring as hell, but they did what they had to do to win. And your Rooneys, your Gerrards, your Lampards, your Scholes, they never ever reached those heights ever. They never got to a final. So who were the better players? They were all saying, "Oh, they're world class players." They weren't world class players; they were club class. Class in terms of they were great for their clubs, and they were brilliant at their clubs. But when it came to international football, they didn't do a lot.
No, Wayne Rooney did run to that Euro 2004. I remember watching him like at that tournament, he was absolutely
when he was a
Best
kid.
tournament,
Yeah.
like he was top class in that tournament. He ran
Yeah,
the
he
show.
was when he was a
Right?
kid. Yeah.
But that failure to get to Euro 2008 under Steve McLaren, I look at that team and I think, how the fuck did you not qualify for that tournament? And I know you had Steve McLaren, right? But let's be honest, right? Anyone, and I mean this, by the way, anyone should be able to get a tune out of Lampard, Gerrard, Rooney. I don't know if Scholes was still around at the time.
Scholes is just getting ready to retire around that time. Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, I would argue you had the best international team, probably on par with
Bobby Robson's era. Or Venables,
on par with a couple, because Spain were just coming into it. Like 2000 and I think it was 2010 where they really clicked.
Yeah.
And Germany had a good team at the time, of course, but you could argue that, the England side back then was probably on par with Germany's, really.
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely when in '96 when England thrashed Holland 4-1. You look at the Dutch side that they had out that day, and you went, "How did that happen?" Because the Dutch side were unbelievable.
Yeah.
They had everybody in that side.
Qualify for Euro 2008. Honestly, that. If you had qualified for that tournament, I would have made you one of the favourites to win it.
Yeah.
Because you had such a good squad. The only thing that would have held you back is Steve McLaren. And ultimately that's what cost you getting to the tournament in the first place. But back to my point about you picking managers solely based on reputation. You brought in Glenn Hoddle, you brought in Sven, Goran Eriksson, Roy Hodgson,
Capello.
Yeah.
Capello, based on what he done with Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Which wasn't that impressive, if you ask me.
Greeny, just to answer a question in the chat, Greeny, if there was me, you, and Nicola Sturgeon in the world, I'd be trying to start a family with you, mate.
God. You heard it here
if we were
first.
the only three left in the world, mate, you'd be the choice.
But yeah, you're saying about obviously how we've done the English done a similar thing to what Scotland have done down the years, and pick players based on reputations, like you said, Capello. Who's it?
Yeah.
After,
when Greece went in,
Allardyce was a weird one.
I'm not being funny, mate. When Greece win it, when Denmark win it, with a fairly average side, let's face it, apart from a couple of really good players, Cheddars, stop it. Apart from a couple of really good players, you were like, how did Greece win it? How do Denmark win it? How did Portugal win it? Okay, they have one world-class player, and you see what one world-class player can really do. You look when Bale the other year took Wales to the semi-final. And one world-class player in amongst a team of very ordinary,
Yeah, but the difference between Bale and those England sides, right, is Bale was world-class.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
There was no question about it, right? Because that guy at that point had turned up in Champions League finals, had turned up for Real Madrid in La Liga when they needed it. Turned up for Wales time after time again.
With
that England side, I didn't see one player that would turn up and put in a world-class performance.
No, exactly that. And they were all banging on about these so-called golden generation of superstars, but they weren't. They weren't a golden generation. They were bronze at best. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the truth is, the only Greece won that Euros in 2004, right? Because Portugal could not put could not finish their chances, and they got away with it in the last few minutes.
Yeah, they did. But they worked hard to earn that, mate.
Ronaldo had so many chances to put them away. If he puts even one of them away, Greece don't get a sniff. Simple.
Russ is right on that shelf.
Yeah. Yes,
but having said that, mate, Greece still made the final because of they didn't have any superstars, but they just had immense hard work. But they got to a final. I mean, this is the thing that gets me with the current England team, where people are going, oh, it's this, that, and the other, and we're moving into this golden generation stage again, where you're taking an England team that had a good draw in the World Cup, and then had a couple of the better half of the draw in the World Cup, and then they got to a semi-final against Croatia and lost. And if you're that good a side, you're getting to that final because you had the easier draw and certainly much easier path in the groups.
Yeah,
and we're starting to slip into that thing again of, you've got all the pundits on there like Lineker and bloody Ferdinand and all the rest, Gary Neville going, oh, what Southgate's done is it's virtue signalling bollocks because Southgate has achieved nothing with England at the moment. Absolutely nothing.
No.
He got to a semi-final because the draw was kind to him and he lost to a team he should have beaten.
And honestly, when you look at that England side, right, and this is where I'll compare the two managers, Steve Clarke and Southgate, right? I find what Steve Clarke has done more impressive than what Southgate has done.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Because of the fact that Steve Clarke does not have the quality of players that Gareth Southgate has at his disposal. Gareth Southgate has Sancho, Sterling, Kane, Rashford, Jude Bellingham, Henderson, Declan Rice,
Saka.
Even Saka to a degree. Wan-Bissaka, Reece James, Kieran Trippier, Trent Alexander-Arnold. You put any other manager in that position, and I guarantee you England get a lot closer to winning the tournament. If they had any other manager apart from Southgate in 2018,
absolutely.
England would have won that. 100%.
I 100% agree with you.
Yeah,
I 100% agree with you. There's no way that with that team or with the squad that was available that they should have failed to beat Croatia. They really should have done that.
We're 1-0 up as well. We went 1-0 up. And he went into ultra defence mode and changed tack for some reason.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
1-0.
Yeah. And then when, of course, Croatia scored, we had nowhere to come out of.
Bro, you were 1-0 up. All you had to do was get another goal and then see the game out. But no, Southgate does what he always does, when he fucks it up and he's just like, oh, well, you know what? Correct me if I'm wrong, right? But I couldn't remember Harry Kane having a single good game in that tournament.
No, I can't either. And I'll tell you another thing as well.
Decent opposition.
I'm kind of glad we didn't get through to the final because I think France would have annihilated us.
Look at it Croatia, fucking hell.
Under Southgate, would have, yes. If you had a better manager, I don't think
under Southgate they'd have annihilated us.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, he did what Switzerland did the other day against Wales. When he gets in front, he gets to about 60 minutes and then he goes defensive instead of leaving it for the last. And then when you've got to do something attacking, when they equalise, you've got nothing left on the bench because you've just taken all your creativity off.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stefan in the chat saying the egos in that England team was insanity. Pity they weren't as good at football as they were at being cocky little fuckers, basically. I added the backers on, obviously. No, it's again growing up with that team as well. For myself, it was so frustrating because, as you said, like David Beckham playing at Real Madrid, just gone to Real Madrid. Steven Gerrard does what he did at Liverpool. Lampard just coming out of nowhere with Chelsea in terms of Mourinho comes along and fucking unlocks him. He just fucking knocks him in for fun. Got skulls.
The reason Lampard came out of nowhere, right, is because Jose Mourinho built the entire team around Lampard.
That's what I'm saying.
That's how it happened.
Oh yeah. But then he got, was it Marco? Yeah, Marco Warren, very young first tournament. Wayne Rooney in 2004 as well. Yeah. As you said, at the start of the tournament was tearing it up. And then
when you look at breakout star of that tournament, it's Wayne Rooney all day long.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not even close.
And then he got the injury. And then he got the injury, didn't he? And then, do you know the best performance I've seen in an England shirt? The very best performance I've seen in a long while was when Rooney got sent off in a quarter-final against Portugal, and Owen Hargreaves just ran the entire pitch. He was everywhere. He had a magnificent performance.
2006,
And yeah.
Was that before
one of the
Man
best things I've ever seen.
Was that before Man United bought him or after?
Just before he
That
went
was
to United.
before Man United bought him. He was playing at Bayern Munich at the time.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he was sensational. Honestly, every single attack Portugal had, him and Ashley Cole were there. I mean, Cole looked after Ronaldo pretty well, but Hargreaves was there just breaking everything up. And then he was up the pitch starting attacks. You were like, "What? This guy was like a road runner. It was unbelievable."
Oh, Spain are in. Oh, nah.
Been very wasteful so far. Half hour. Is it all about the game? It's been all the same.
It's been one of the most boring games I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like Spain have had all of the ball,
Literally.
right? But the thing about what they've done is they've not really done anything with it. It's all about
Sweden will be happy if they're getting a draw.
It's all well and good having possession for possession's sake, and we know this as Arsenal fans. Like, it's all well and good having possession for possession's sake, but unless you do something with it, like, you know, create a chance or create a clear-cut chance, it means fuck all. So Spain, to me, haven't played well. If I'm honest, Sweden have been the better side because of the fact that they've shut Spain down completely, where they're having to find different angles, and they're just sitting deep now and looking to hit Spain on the break. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if Sweden scored.
They nick it. They nick it 1-0. Steve, do you stay safe out there, buddy, on that bus? I'm going to say that you know, Sweden are quite happy for Spain to play in front of them.
Yeah,
you know, you look at Spain and at Sweden, they're going 2 banks of 4. The 2 forwards are just tracking along the line, and they're quite happy. Look at what Spain are doing with it now. He's going to go backwards, and they're quite happy. They'll just shuffle across. They're quite happy for Spain to have it there.
Well, now Sweden for once in the attacking third near the penalty box now. Got a throw in.
There you go, look. And they'll just get stuck in, and they'll go. The minute Spain pass it back to a player, they'll go 2 banks of 4 again.
Yep.
And it's so easy to play against in terms of keeping your shape. You don't get pulled about all over the place.
Yeah, this is why I don't rate Luis Enrique, Warren, because he always does this. Right?
Yeah.
I've seen it at Roma and I've seen it at Barcelona. Like it's what his teams do. And if he, because there was a lot of like links for Luis Enrique to come to Arsenal around the time Wenger left.
Oh no!
And I was vehemently against it. I was just like, no, absolutely not. Like that's just not going to work.
Sebastian Larsson almost scored from a cross. You're about to see it. It was a normal cross, but it almost looped in the goal.
I'm not being funny, guys, but this is a very limited Sweden side.
Oh yeah,
right? And they're not breaking them down.
No.
No, literally, what was it? Because Zlatan Ibrahimovic came out of retirement once they qualified and said, "You know what? If you need me, I'm here." And obviously, then he got injured, so they even got him as an option.
Yeah.
Again, this is a Sweden. Again, going further back, this is a Sweden side that hasn't got the likes of Henrik Larsson. Sorry.
Yeah, or Kim Kallström.
Kallström
was a decent player. Kallström was decent.
Yeah.
And he was mainly one of the spearheads along with Ibrahimovic, wasn't he? He was like the ball-playing midfielder. But they've got no one. There's not even an Olsen in there.
No.
So,
I mean, Sebastian Larsson's still playing. So,
as I was saying, literally, they took me by surprise. That's what I'm saying. I looked at the screen from after the initial. I was sort of live shot of the cross almost going in. He went to Sebastian Larsson. I was like, I thought you retired.
Yeah.
Okay, I was still going. Last I saw him, bloody hell.
I'll tell you what, that would have been jolly embarrassing, wouldn't it?
After all that, literally, you got the other end in 2 seconds, go boom, across as well.
I mean, I don't know about you, but watching Spain play football, even if they do win the game, it's horrible. It's patter cake. It's so boring.
I
It is
know.
now. It's not like it used to be. Or saying that Morata's through.
It's all well
He
and good.
missed. He missed. How the fuck did he miss that?
Morata doesn't miss. No, I'm not having that. Morata's
It's all well and
absolutely
good
well
playing
past
possession
striker.
ball, right? But like we were saying earlier, if you don't do shit with it, it means fuck all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, exactly that.
and this is what, playing possession football, fine, I get it. Most teams want to do it. All right, cool. But unless you have an exceptional group of players like a Man City or even, 2009 Barcelona or even like 2013 to 15 Real Madrid.
I mean, I'm not being funny. You can get David Villa out of retirement to be better than Spain's forwards.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like you
I
can't
haven't seen this miss yet, fellas.
You're about to
Is
see
it that bad?
Oh my god, it's one.
bad?
It's literally 1-on-1, basically.
Oh my god, how's he missed that?
And Connie's just seen it.
Oh my
feel-
god.
Connie, who do you ever have, Morata or Dyke?
Maybe his second name's Dyke. Have a look.
I don't know.
I think he's like the Russian forward the other day. Old Dubja.
Oh god.
I mean, I don't want to alert you guys,
Oh,
but
listen. Ah!
I mean,
Oh, dear.
Morata made Lyndon Dykes look good.
Exactly.
That's it. He's got to hit the target there. I mean, the defender's made a terrible error there. And wow, he's bailed him out of jail there.
Here's a question for you, though. Looking forward to this Friday's game from an England perspective. After watching the game yesterday, and obviously Kane being basically the worst player in the pitch because he literally got no supply. He was involved in the game really at all for the entire game.
No, it wasn't.
Do you drop him? Would you drop him on Friday for someone else that's more accustomed to these tactics?
Well, it's sort of a moot point. As he's a captain, they're not going to drop him. They're not going to drop him, mate. There's no chance of Kane being dropped this whole tournament. He could have the biggest shocker in the world, and he's not going to be dropped throughout the entire tournament unless he gets injured. He's not going anywhere. And I still say, I don't know Collins, because I didn't get Collins' thoughts on this, because obviously we've only bumped into each other again after a while. But I think that all this, I wanted to see Grealish play through the middle. I wanted Foden on the right. And I wanted Mount on the left so they could both cut in and leave room for the fullbacks to go down the side. But if you're going to have this team now, that they played, and okay, Sterling scored, but I don't think he's a good balance for the team, but he scored. But what I'm saying here is, if you're going to have this side, I want to see this side kept. Because if we go into the next round of games and we finish top of the group, the likelihood is we're going to get France, Germany or Portugal. That's absolute certain if we finish top of the group. And I want a settled team who knows what it's doing by that time. It is no good having an experimental side out there and giving it a bit of a go.
Quick heads up, Sweden have another chance.
Oh, come on, Sweden.
What did I tell you? This is what I
like
mean. Like, Spain are a very bad. They're not a terrible side, but this
not
style
what they
of
used to be.
football doesn't work. I'm sorry, it doesn't. Like, nah. But
I mean,
I mean, look at that. Look at that. Spain are sitting deep. Sweden are sitting really deep. I'm not on the same minutes as you guys are because I'm watching an line player. But they've got Spain. Sweden are sitting really deep, and Morata manages to run offside. How does he do that when Sweden are just defending? How do you manage to run offside? Unbelievable. All you've got to do is look along the line. There's 5 yellow shirts there. Surely you can stay on side with one of them.
Oh dear.
I haven't seen this Sweden chance yet.
You're about to in the next 10 seconds or so. As soon as Colin sees it, you're going to.
He did. Go on, son.
I've seen it, Ryan. It's bad.
Oh my lord! Off the defender, off the post, and back to the keeper.
Yep, that's the one.
Wow! That's it, the bloke, isn't it?
Yeah, literally hit.
How did that not go in? Oh, you lucky sods. Oh, your luck's in, isn't it?
Yeah.
Get a tenner on it, we'll win the tournament. You got luck like that. You're laughing, aren't you?
Yeah.
Jeez.
On the Harry Kane though thing, on the Harry Kane thing, right? I'm not entirely sure that England's setup is helping him, because when I watch Harry Kane for Tottenham, granted I don't watch a lot of them, but I hate
obviously. It's all from Derby,
when I have watched Harry Kane for Tottenham, right, and when I've watched Harry Kane for England, it's two different players completely. Because with Harry Kane, it's like he's a world-class finisher, and he's not. But he's not just that. He got the most goals and assists last season, so he is a complete forward. We know this, right? But I'm not entirely sure that Harry Kane's or Gareth Southgate's setup is engineered to Harry Kane's strengths. Like, because and this all goes back to the fact that Southgate's not a good manager for you guys, because he's not getting the best out of Harry Kane. And with the amount of quality that you have Sancho, you have Foden, you have Mount, you've got Jack Grealish. Like, these are like real Donnies who are just like levels above what Croatia have, levels above what the Czech Republic have, levels above what we have. Right? If you had a decent manager, you would steamroll this group, no question about it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right? Here's the thing for you, though, Colin. When you're saying this, right? Yeah, we've got two attacking midfielders and a winger out there. Surely you play two wingers, don't you? You play three attacking midfielders, one of the two. You don't do a mix and match.
No. Honestly, if I'm Southgate, right? Because Harry Kane can adapt to like whoever's out on the flank with him.
Yeah.
But the manager restricts those two players out on the flank.
Yeah.
I feel like if you put Jadon Sancho on one flank, because Sancho's good at crossing the ball. We've seen this.
Yeah.
And Harry Kane is very good at heading the ball. In fact, his headers are bullets. Like, they just don't miss.
Yeah.
If you put Sancho on the right, and you then you could put Sancho on the left and then put Mount on the right, because Mount can put a ball in.
Yeah.
So if you put Mount, Sancho on the flanks, and then you put Harry Kane up top, that would work if Gareth Southgate did not restrict them from doing what they should be allowed to do.
Yeah.
I feel like if you had a manager that kind of let the handcuffs off and just be like, listen, just put balls in for Harry Kane.
Yeah.
You'll get on the end of it. Don't worry about it.
Here's the thing, Colin, is if you're gonna play, if you're gonna go three attacking midfielders, say you play Foden. I mean, for me, playing Foden, Mount, and Grealish is a great idea, because then you can have them cutting in, and then your fullbacks can get down the flanks to produce crosses for Kane. But when you're putting them, when you're not playing one on the, a left footer on the right and a right footer on the left, then they're going to stay slightly wider, and then all you're going to get is a bunch up when the fullbacks come up, because they're not going to be in a position to be able to get the balls in. You know what I mean? You're going to just be getting in each other's way. Whereas if they're on opposite sides and they're cutting in, fullbacks can overlap all day long.
Yeah, that's true. But again, it goes back to the same old thing we were talking about. Like, it's like, I feel like Southgate restricts his players to what they can and can't do.
Yeah.
Like at times when I watch Harry Kane, when I watch Mason Mount, when I watch not so much Phil Foden because this is his first tournament, but when I watch Mount, when I watch Kane, when I watch Raheem Sterling, when I watch players like that, who Maddison as well in recent times, I feel like Southgate restricts them because they're not as good for England as they are for their clubs.
No.
And that to me is a sign of the manager restricting his players for what they can and can't do. And I feel
here's a novel idea. Go on.
I feel like if you just let the handcuffs off, you'll see the Harry Kane that Tottenham have. You'll see the Mason Mount that Chelsea have. You'll see the Jadon Sancho that Dortmund have. But for some reason, he doesn't want to do it. Maybe because he's scared of getting caught on the break or something. I don't know.
Well, here's a thing, right? So when you remove your attacking talent from the pitch when you're winning a game, which is the way Southgate would go. Now, if you play the 3 attacking midfielders, and you're playing the 2 fullbacks and they're raiding down the sides, and something goes wrong and you're not winning the game, you don't want to go to penalties, or you're one behind, you've then got the option then of Sterling and a Sancho that you can throw on and take the fullbacks off and just leave, or a Saka, and you can just leave Phillips, Henderson, and the 2 centre backs to take care of the defence and just go for it. But when you remove really good talent that maybe could get you a goal, you don't have anywhere to go, and that's my worry with him, because when England get in front, all he thinks about is defending. What happens if the other team then equalise like Croatia did? And then we had, after 65 minutes, because we'd taken our attacking talent off the park in the semi-final, we were completely lost. We didn't have anywhere to go.
Yeah,
they looked like rudderless. They looked like a rudderless ship out there, and you just saw and you knew that Croatia were going to win. You know, because we had nothing.
Yeah. What I will say though, like in the last game, not in the World Cup, but in the last game against Croatia the other night, I feel like you controlled the game well. Now, don't get me wrong. That's got nothing to do with Southgate.
No.
Absolutely nothing to do with Southgate. It's the fact that Croatia didn't really create anything. Like they weren't.
When they did, they didn't have a guy that put the ball in the net. But here's one thing that everybody's forgotten, Cole, is Mandzukic wasn't available.
Yeah.
If you put Mandzukic in that team, different game, I think.
Well, the thing with Mandzukic is now he plays more of like an inverted winger position now. I don't know if that's the same with Croatia, but at club level, that's what he's played the majority of the last 2-3 years. He did it under Allegri, who's the guy that got him to play that way. But he did it for Milan as well. But that said, I don't know if he would play like that with Croatia. Possibly not, because.
But you see how much he hurt us. You saw how much he hurt us when he played against us in the World Cup semi. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's a player then. If Croatia had a forward of his ability, you know, someone like him or a Davor Suker, all of a sudden I don't think we win the game. I really don't. I thought they just didn't have that guy that could link it in between England, because there was a few times where I've got to say I thought Phillips had an impressive debut. I thought he put some good tackles in and made the fouls when he had to without getting yellows. Yeah,
and that's Calvin Phillips has been good since Bielsa showed up at Leeds.
Yeah.
And he's a player that you don't have to, that Southgate doesn't really have to do anything with, because he knows what his job is, and he just gets on with it and does it. And Southgate doesn't have to worry about opening the game up with Calvin Phillips, because that's not what he's there to do. So he's not a player that's going to look bad under Southgate. At least I wouldn't think so. it's more the likes of Harry Kane, Sancho, Phil Foden, Jack Grealish, Mason Mount, Trent that you really have to worry about. Like it's the attacking players where you think he should be getting more out of them, especially considering the talent he's got. I get the fact that he's not a good manager, believe me. Like I prefer Steve Clark over him. Seriously, I wouldn't want Southgate near the Scotland team. No, like we'd look a lot worse than we do. And believe me, lads, that can actually happen.
Yeah.
And I know we weren't great in the first half, but we were actually okay in the second, to the point where we created a lot of chances. We just didn't put them away.
But however, I mean, that goal just took the wind out of your sails completely, didn't it? For about, I mean, you came on strong again about 15, 20 minutes later, but but for about 15 minutes when you needed to be dominating that game, that goal took the wind out of your sails, didn't it? And
by the time
be honest,
the game was done. The game was done by the time
couple of minutes. I mean, I ain't being funny. Yeah, there's a couple of things that the maybe the keeper could have done. There's maybe a couple of things, you know, with the benefit of hindsight, you know, everybody can be spot on. But my God, what a finish! What a finish!
Yeah.
You know, if you don't get that perfect, it doesn't go in.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, you've only got to miss it.
Hold on. I've got to highlight this. Tahib, you're wrong about Strachan, bro. You're wrong. I'm sorry, you are wrong. Right? I've seen it with my own eyes. Strachan did okay. Right? But
got to go
back in a second. The same problems were piping up under Strachan. They were. They absolutely were. And if I remember correct, Strachan was the coach when we bottled it against Georgia. So, I mean, and we were, if we had beaten Georgia, we would have qualified for that tournament.
Yeah.
Make no mistake about it. But we bottled it. Why? I'm not saying Strachan was directly at fault for that. The players were as well. But seriously, Strachan was the coach that oversaw that whole qualifying campaign.
BBC, by the way, I know I've been salting the wound and saying the highlights of the game again.
Yeah. What do you make of Fabregas as a pundit, man? Because I like him. I don't hate him.
Yeah, he actually speaks sense because obviously he was part of that generation of fantastic Spanish players in a fantastic Spanish team. He knows what he's talking about. He speaks how from what he experienced in that level. Was it 6 years dominance they had?
Yeah.
And obviously the World Cup came along for the double, and they've bottled it. They fell apart.
Yeah. That's a good save from David Marshall. See, that's what I was talking about earlier. The amount of times he made crucial saves for us, like, oh, this is the robo chance. Oh, can someone tell me how he saved that? Like, I'm mystified by that. What? Like, do you remember how good Oliver Kahn was for Germany back in the day?
Yeah, oh fucking.
My man morphed into Oliver Kahn, bro.
Oh dear. Stefan in the chat's also saying Gordon is a cocky sod, good player and decent for Celtic. Yeah, and because of his success, that's all bloody. I didn't notice at the time, obviously, until afterwards. That obviously, with that second goal, by the way, the bloody Marshall broke the net.
Yeah.
Pointing back into it, he just went.
Yeah, that'd be about right.
But what was the thing is, obviously, when people dig out, what was it, Marshall there, like, what's the better option? Fucking Craig Gordon, who's just at Hearts.
Bro, seriously, when you look at our goalkeepers, right? David Marshall is probably the best like senior player, right?
That's not the time.
Yes, Turnbull's decent, but he's a young kid. You do not throw a young goalkeeper in a tournament like this. You don't. I'm sorry. Like, you know, if this, like, for instance, like Jordan Pickford's taken the number 1 now, right, for England, right?
Yeah.
Now, let's spin this back around, right? Say Joe Hart was still the number 1, right? And was Southgate the manager when Hart was dropped?
I think he was. Yeah. He was,
Right.
because we went West Ham and he's decline, yeah.
All right. So if Hart was still the number 1, right, and he was still putting in good performances, this, that, and the other, right, and Southgate picked a young Jordan Pickford who had just emerged, who had just broke out at Sunderland, what would you be saying then? No, don't do it. Don't do it. Bad idea.
Yeah, got what you're saying.
Like exactly the same reason why I don't want Turnbull started, because that can destroy a young player. I've seen it happen with my own eyes, and I don't want that happening with Turnbull, because Turnbull's actually a decent goalkeeper, believe it or not.
It's one for the future, obviously. Yeah.
He's not ready for a tournament like this. Like, for instance, let's just say, for instance, that Scotland got to the knockout stages. Let's just say that happens. And we come up against, like, a France. Do I want Turnbull going up against Mbappe? Hell no.
Fucking hell, no.
No, that would kill his confidence completely. Like, you wouldn't want Jordan Pickford, who had just emerged at Sunderland at the time, going up against, like, your Messis and your Ronaldos, would you?
No, of course not.
No.
As you said,
They just about showed that shit goal again. They just measured it. It was 49.7 yards out.
I know.
Jesus.
It's a good finish.
It's absolutely perfect. I mean, you know, that is, wow. Why didn't Hendry feed the guy on the right, though? And you see the guy, and he's having a look where the goalkeeper is, and he's just looked and he's gone, I'm having that.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a finish.
Yeah, but why is Hendry shooting in the first place, Warren?
Yeah, he should have rolled it out to the right wing, mate. To the right back. The right back was there. Oh, my Lord. When you look at it again, you know, they're showing it over and over again, and you see just how good that was.
And also, Ross, I take exception with the fact that Scotland may not get to another tournament again, though, right? Because if you actually pay attention to what Steve Clarke's doing, yes, the lineup wasn't amazing. Yes, you know, there were individual mistakes.
I saw enough today for you to get to another tournament.
If you look at what Steve Clarke has done compared to what the other managers have done,
yeah, you're on the right road.
Steve Clarke has done a much better job than Gordon Strachan and Alex McLeish combined.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking when Alex McLeish was good here. I'm talking the second time he was appointed.
Yeah.
Like, no. What Steve Clarke has done, he's brought in a lot of the youth, because if you remember, before he was appointed, right, we were bringing in a lot of like experienced players and not too many young players, right? In fact, ask yourself this, right? If Steve Clarke wasn't manager, would Turnbull be getting a look in at the Euro squad? No. No hope in hell. If this was Alex McLeish's Scotland at the Euros, which, by the way, wouldn't happen, but if Alex McLeish was manager, Turnbull would not be in the squad. I can assure you.
Yeah.
It would be David Marshall and Craig Gordon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talking of players not getting bits and pieces. One thing we haven't touched on, I think Poland dropped a bollock today, didn't they?
Yeah, they
just
did.
a tad. Good old Wojciech, if you know, you know.
Yeah.
And people, you got our fan base that wants this idiot back, of course they do.
and just touching on players in other games, I was quite. They've just shown back the chance for Isaac for Sweden, and he didn't do a lot wrong there. He kept nice and composed in front of goal. He didn't hammer the ball against the defender's legs. He actually took it round someone, and it was only a pure bit of luck that stopped them scoring. So I was quite impressed with his coolness in front of goal there.
Yeah, I mean, we are linked to him. I know that.
He did everything right, just unlucky.
Whether or not we get him is another question. But,
Would you want him, though?
I mean,
in circumstances.
Lacazette's contract is winding down, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
he's got a year left now.
I wouldn't be opposed to it. I mean, if Lacazette went if we did a swap deal plus cash, and Isaac came to Arsenal, and Lacazette and
I wouldn't be upset with Isaac.
And 10-50 million went to Sociedad with Lacazette. I wouldn't complain about that.
That's a while ago. I'd like him.
Honestly, I wouldn't complain. I wouldn't. But if you look at our team, striker really shouldn't be the focus at the moment.
Well, honestly, I think you've got to have a better goalkeeper. You've got to get a centre back that's going to play there. We need a right back without shadow of a doubt. And we need a proper defensive midfielder, somebody who can really boss the game. I'd love us. I don't know how much we've got to spend, but I would love us to go and get Rice, because I think even the lure of Arsenal would still come. I don't care that West Ham finished above us. Arsenal are a bigger club, and I think Rice would come.
Yeah, we always will be a bigger club than West Ham, Warren. Seriously, if Arsenal presented West Ham probably won't sell for less than 80 million. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah.
If Arsenal presented a package where they would pay a half of it up front, right?
Yeah, they'd sell.
And installments and stuff, and possibly a player on the end of that deal.
Yeah, quite happy.
They probably would sell.
Yeah.
Right, but do I see Arsenal going out and signing Declan Rice?
No, of course they're not. No, some of the players we've been linked with, mate, are distinctly second rate, and that's a worry. That is a worry. I was saying to Ryan before in another game, when Kanate went to Liverpool. Now, he went to Liverpool for 35 million. Now, I'm not saying he wouldn't have gone to Liverpool, but how in the hell are we not part of that conversation for a player that has got that much potential?
This is what I mean, Warren. Because whenever with this board, right? I get the impression that they have no clue what's going on next week, never mind next month.
No.
Because when I look at it, right, I think, all right, Kanate's gone to Liverpool for 30 million.
Yeah.
You tell me are you telling me that Edu and that didn't know about that release clause?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Why are we not part of that conversation? Because for 30 million, that's a steal. It's an absolute steal.
Exactly. And also, what's a worry? The fact that Buendia went to Aston Villa instead of Arsenal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not many people are talking about that. People are saying, "Oh, were we definitely in for it?" Well, Fabrizio Romano has said yes, so I believe it.
Yeah.
And the fact that he went to Villa over Arsenal—that's a worry.
Yeah.
Right, because the fact is, Emi Martinez probably would have been part of that deal as well. He was like, "Yeah, Buendia, come over here to Villa. It's good out here."
Yeah. Oh, and Ty, very quickly in the chat, mate. No, I don't expect Everton to get top four. I expect Everton to be. They are basically the Tottenham of the North. I don't expect them to get top four at all.
No.
Not with the squad they have. Not a chance. And Santos was found out. He did a great job with Wolves, But again, second season syndrome, third season, his tactics found out, and Wolves were starting to go only one way. And I don't see him being any better than Ancelotti. I really don't.
The thing about Santo, right, is that he changed his system this season.
Yeah.
I feel like if he stuck with what got him success in the first place, they wouldn't have been as bad as they were this season.
No. I mean, Fabio Silva was an awful purchase.
Yeah.
Well, with that, I feel like that was like them, looking at, I guess, like the future, because Raul Jimenez is getting older, but Fabio Silva is not. He's not going to take them like higher than they are. No. Fabio Silva, and the truth is, Raul Jimenez is a quality striker even at 30 years old.
Yes,
so whether or not Fabio Silva could step into that Raul Jimenez role, that remains to be seen. However, right now he's not going to replace Raul Jimenez.
No, and when I know that Stefan has put in top 4 a possibility. I don't think so, mate. I really don't. I think you're looking maybe top 6 at best. They're certainly not going to trouble the top 4, because Manchester United will be up there and thereabouts. Even though Solskjaer's not my favourite manager, he's done an okay job with the squad he has. They should be doing better, I think, because they've got some quality players. Man City are definitely going to be in with a shout. If Van Dijk's back and Liverpool have strengthened, Liverpool are going to be up there. And I'm not being funny. That's 3 teams that are going to be up there. Chelsea are going to be up there. There's no way that Everton are getting top 4, mate. Not a chance.
No, because when you look at the teams that are strengthening, listen, I've accepted the fact that we're not going to do shit.
No.
Right? I've accepted that. I'm not even putting the hopes on anything at the moment. There's talk about us spending 80 million on 2 players. Listen, when it happens, I'll believe you. Until then, I'm not
really want Arteta spending it.
Aye.
Listen, I'm not believing shit until I actually see it with my own eyes.
You're saying everything I've been saying for weeks, Colin, about all this bollocks since the Super League and all that PR bollocks. I've been saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Cheddar's in the chat saying Fabio Silva was better off staying in the Portuguese league. 18, he's too young for the Prem. Yeah?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, and he's very lightweight.
If Wolves signed him and then sent him back on loan, then that would be fair enough. However, they didn't. They brought him into the first squad right away.
Yeah.
Like, I was fine doing it from, like, if it's like a kid from the academy, but they brought Fabio Silva from abroad. Like, it's the same as what Newcastle did with Mitrovic.
Yeah.
He was a young kid. They brought him from Anderlecht. They had the only striker they had at the time was Papi Cisse, who was dog shit. And
scored 1 super goal with a hell of a strike, and everybody thought he was the next best thing since sliced bread. Well, and his confidence was up, and he got a few goals because of that.
The reason why people thought that, Warren, was because Alan Pardew finished 5th one season and turned Demba Ba and Papi Cisse into world beaters for 1 season.
Yeah.
And it also says £40 million for an 18-year-old is insane. It is, but that's not the agents they work with as well, the owners at Wolves. Yeah. Oh, dear.
Sweden's starting to run out of ideas here because, don't get me wrong, Spain had a lot of the ball in the first half, but it's beginning to look like attackers be defenders here. Spain are spending more time further camps, higher up, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
They're not sort of knocking it. There seems to be a bit more urgency about the speed with which they're moving the ball across the backboard to get behind. It's almost like they're ramping up the screw a bit because. But this, is he going to cross that, or is he going to go back to his bloody fullback? Oh dear! See, he could have crossed that, or he could have put a ball forward there. And look what's happened here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 passes. Now the ball goes in, and they've had all that time to get themselves organised and keep going correct.
Well, this is what he does though. Like, this is his style of football. Like, you're not going to win a tournament like this. You're not. Like, it's all well and good passing it around the back when you're playing Sweden, right? But when you're playing France, Portugal, even England to a degree, you're not going to get away with that. No. And
you know, the worst thing about it is they don't look. I mean, unless they're going to play for penalties, I can't see where the penetration's coming from.
Nope.
Because, I mean, Sweden are, apart from maybe if they get a free kick on the edge of the box, Larson might be able to do something. And Isaac looks like he could possibly cause a few problems. But apart from that, Sweden are a bang average side. Bang average.
Yeah, they've got Lindelof at the back, mate. Like, come
on. You know, they're not. You know, they're just not. I'm sorry, they're not. And you know, the fact that they're struggling to put them to bed.
Stefan says the Jets Conky spend more on wigs. Yeah. Like he wouldn't believe, trust me.
Their strikers are Morata, Gerard for Moreno, Ferran Torres, Adama Traore, and
see, now I would have thought Troy.
Like, bruh.
I mean, because let's face it, the Spanish strikers are just going to get knocked off the ball because Sweden are quite a unit at the back. But they're not shy about putting their foot in, are they?
No. We better play Gerard Moreno up front than Morata. Because at least he's
got the yellow out, staggering. And only for the number 2, who should have been. I think he's been booked for arguing, and I think he's been booked for dissent. But he should have been about. He's had about 5 or 6 fouls where he's not been booked.
Toad's in the chat saying Sweden have never been a great team, even when they had Henrik Larsson.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, don't get me wrong, he was a great forward, but the best team they had probably was when you had Kallstrom and what's his name together, Ibrahimovic.
Yeah.
Henrik Larsson at Celtic was different gravy. He was Jesus Christ.
He was class, man.
Yeah, he was class. Don't get me wrong. He was a very, very good striker in a fairly average league. No,
Warren. At the time, it wasn't. Like, cause
it is now.
It is now, but at the time, you had like
Giovanni
Van Bronckhorst.
Seriously, you had
Rangers and Celtic. Yeah, agreed. Rangers and Celtic, but I didn't think, you know, you take the top 4, the top 3 out of Scotland, you know, you were just talking Rangers and Celtic, and don't get me wrong, the standard of football between the 2 teams was magnificent. Yeah, I mean, you had Rangers had a good side, Celtic had a good side, but the rest were pretty bang average, to be honest. But there was massive competition between Rangers and Celtic.
There was a period around that time when Hearts got bought out, and then they had the likes of like Rudy Skesho and the like.
Yeah. I mean, I thought, don't get me wrong, there was when Rangers and Celtic had some really good squads, and you're talking really good players playing for them. That was great competition between the 2, because you knew that the 2 were going to run each other all the way right to the end of the season. But once, I think it really hurt Scottish football. I think Rangers, I know they had to go down, but I think it really hurt Scottish football that they did. I really do. That time that Rangers had to take to get back up there. Because you need competition.
It's really underrated around that time. I don't know if you guys will remember him, but when Rangers had Rob Wallace, oh my God.
Yeah, he was a great player.
He was so good. I remember, like, because at the time, me and there's being like young and whatnot, don't really understand like the ins and outs of football. You don't understand like the rivalries and stuff. Like, is me and my brother, right? We were forced to pick like certain side, and he went with Rangers, right? I don't know why, but he did, right? And being the kind of, I guess, spiteful person that I am, I went with Celtic because my brother went with Rangers. I didn't really care for Celtic. It was just like, oh, my brother's going Rangers, I'll just go Celtic then. And every time the two would play each other, like, absolutely just pandemonium in our house. And I remember one goal he scored against Celtic. Oh my God. Bloody hell. Like,
How long was Larson at United? It was a couple of seasons, wasn't it?
it was one or two.
Yeah, I think it was 2 seasons, I think.
Yeah.
A few seasons, yeah.
So I've got a question.
He went from Celtic and then he went to Barcelona and then he went to United on loan.
Yeah. I've got a question for you, Colin. Where do you rate? And don't get me wrong, I think he's an exceptionally good manager. I think he's very, very good. Brendan Rodgers is treble without Rangers being at full strength. Is that diminished for you?
I mean, in a way, and the reason is you could literally put any manager with that Celtic side. They won trophies. Ronnie Delia won trophies with Celtic. Ronnie Delia, yeah. But don't get me wrong.
I do have a problem that Rangers were on their way back up, and they at the time they didn't have the greatest of squads, and for me that treble just it doesn't sit right. Okay, it is a treble, but it's a shit one for me.
No, because if you look at it at the time, right, Gerrard only just got the job at Rangers when Rodgers was there, and that Rangers side hadn't fully molded yet. And I feel like if you put Brendan Rodgers in charge of Celtic now, and you have Gerrard at Rangers, I still feel Rangers win the league.
Yeah, I do too. Well, I think it would definitely get better value.
It wouldn't be 30 points like it was this season, but it would be close.
Oh, hello. Oh no, it's all right. It was away then. Give it to Isaac.
He's in. Oh my God!
Sweden are going to nick this. Sweden will nick this. I think they're going to do it. I think they're going to do it the way they do it.
Rob, I told you Sweden would nick this. Go back and watch it on fucking Backwatch. I said it, right? You can quote me now, eh?
Please. Oh, we should have scored that. Mate, your boys just nicked a bit of it, didn't he?
Yeah, there's a bit of backlash here, by the way. Is anyone got headphones, Warren?
Oh, I'll see if I've got some around here, mate.
Just a bit of a noise situation.
I'm going to say I've got the TV turned off completely, apart from the pictures. Hang on.
No worries. Russ is saying also for Gattuso's at Rangers as well. Yeah, start of his career. There's been some cracking players in the actual SPL back in the day, but nowadays
there has been. Yeah. I'm not saying there hasn't been, mate, but it's always been. What you have to look at is if it's not Celtic, it's Rangers. I mean, only when I think only when Ferguson was there was it ever going to be a three-horse race. You know what I mean? And what Colin was saying about managers of Scotland and stuff like that. I mean, even Ferguson, I believe he was national manager for a while, and even he couldn't get a tune out of some of the players that were about in those days. Do you know what I mean? And if a manager like that can't get a tune out of the players, then that tells you something, doesn't it?
Yeah. Although to be fair, our squad back then, like the squad that we had back then under Ferguson was actually better than the squad now.
Yeah.
However, the issue is, like, this was Ferguson pre-Man United.
Yeah.
So I don't think you can compare it to,
No, but what I'm saying is, obviously, even then, because, he had Aberdeen, and look what he did with Aberdeen.
Yeah.
And you have to say, if he couldn't get a tune out of that Scotland side, then that's, it had to be a fairly poor. There had to be something else going on behind the scenes, bar, just the poor, because there were one or two, Aberdeen were filled with superstars who were, Aberdeen had some bloody good players. So therefore,
that's always been the problem that Scotland have had. There's always been this rift with the FA and the managers that they appoint, and this is what pissed me off about us appointing managers solely based on reputation. Like, you can tell that the players did not respect Alex McLeish the second time. You could tell it was obvious. Everyone. It was obvious to everyone that Alex McLeish the second time round was the wrong appointment. It was
Isaac is an absolute beast.
Right.
Morata's gone off, by the way. Morata has gone off.
Well, I'm not surprised. He's been dog wank.
Thiago's come on. Rodri's gone off, and someone else, I didn't see his name come up, has come on as well for Spain.
Yeah.
But Mark, going back to the conversation, also Mark, what to add to that? He says, I remember that striker of Rangers, can't remember his name, scored about 30 goals before Christmas, done his knee, and never played again for him. Are we?
I mean, you'll have to be more specific than that. There's been a fair few strikers that have scored 30 goals for Rangers.
But apparently, he'd done his knee in around Christmas, and he never played for him again.
Chris Boyd? Would that have been the one?
Could have been.
Could have been, actually, yeah.
Who was the lad who was at QPR? Went to Rangers.
QPR.
Okay,
long-haired guy.
Kenny Miller?
No, it wasn't Miller. Oh, what was his bloody name? No, I can't think of it. I'll try and remember it for next time we're on, but yeah, Rangers have had quite a few decent strikers down the years.
Didn't have long hair.
Yeah.
Apparently he was Italian, Colin.
Italian?
Yeah.
All right.
Not Samaras.
No, he was Greek. He played for Celtic.
Yeah. No, I'm trying to think.
Amoruso?
No, he was a defender, wasn't he? Lorenzo Amoruso.
Yeah, he
I know the guy. Do you know what? I can't think of his name. I know the guy he's going on about. Oh, he was a bit mustard as well.
Hold on, I'll look it up. Have it here. Hold on.
I think he was around the time of Amoruso.
He may have been, yeah. He may have been. Right. So Amoruso was between 97 and 2003.
Did it begin with N? No, not Caniggia.
No.
Did it begin with N? Surname? I'm not sure. He was Italian. I know the guy he's talking about.
Paolo Vanioli, is that the one?
No.
No.
Oh, God, what was his name? Oh, I can picture him now.
I don't even know now.
Pete, Tagliatelle, mate, we're talking footballers here, not dishes.
Did you say N? Not Novo or something?
Was that him?
I can't remember his name now. Actually,
was it Nacho Novo?
Nacho Novo.
Was that him?
Yeah.
He scored a lot of goals for you.
He wasn't Italian though. He was. He was good though. He was really
Was
good.
he the
yeah,
guy
he
who
was-
was around at the same time as Amaruso?
Yeah,
Who scored loads of
well.
goals for you? Was he a Chilean? Something like that?
I think
He was. No, he's from Spain.
Spain. Yeah,
Ah. Because I thought he was absolute mustard, him.
Yeah, he was.
He wasn't brilliant on the ball, but in front of goal, he was
Nah,
lethal.
he was there from about 2004, so it would have been after Amaruso.
Ah, right. Pete, you're just coming up with dishes here, mate. You come up with tagliatelle, Paolo carbonara. I mean, what's next? Luis spaghetti, or oh, hang on. What about that? What about that other striker they had, Pete? You know, the Italian guy, Cannelloni.
Oh, Marco Negri, that was the one.
Marco Negri, that's him.
Negri.
That's him.
97,
I
98
thought it
season,
began with
yeah.
N. Yeah, I thought it began with N. Negri, yeah. I'll tell you what, that Isaac put a good shift in. I think he's done very well.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, we
for
got
anyone-
him, Mark. Don't worry, we got there.
For anyone that's obviously not interested in our conversation, but obviously want to watch the game and want to know what's going on. It's 20 minutes ago. It's still 0-0. Spain. I was just devoid of ideas now.
It is literally the most boring game ever, lads. Yeah, so we're just trying to fucking like
Fill
come
the
up
void.
with
And
other
Pete's
shit.
entertaining us with lots of Italian dishes that are apparently strikers for Rangers.
Oh god.
Oh god. Well, that's you know what we can talk about actually. I don't know if you saw, but Peter Schmeichel was on GMB this morning, and obviously part of a panel discussing what happened over the weekend. And he basically threw the UEFA under the bus and said what they've been putting out as a load of bollocks. I've basically saying yes, obviously because his son plays for Denmark himself in Kasper. I know different.
Yeah.
They've got given three choices: to either play the match now, like tonight, at the time on Saturday night, or come back tomorrow on midday heat, or you lose the game. You can forfeit the game and lose 3-0. It was that or nothing, basically. None of this. We're sorting out some. Literally, I'm there. I'm hearing all this, and I'm like, I'm talking to my brother, and I'm like, but I'm not surprised at UEFA because obviously it's UEFA. Let's not get it twisted. But you're telling people, you're telling lads, not lads, you're telling men that obviously playing a game of football that have just seen their teammate, a friend of theirs, effectively be dead on the pitch for 20 plus minutes.
Yeah.
Having to hear him being trying to be. One sec. Trying to hear him, hearing him trying to be revived for 20. God knows how long it went. Basically, it seemed like fucking forever at the time. And you're telling them afterwards, all that trauma we've had to go through, you've got to play the game still, or else.
Right, here you go. This is how you solve it. What you do is you turn your camera phone on. You wait until that guy opens his mouth and starts telling the players this is what it's going to be, and then you stick it up on Twitter and all over YouTube. And I'll tell you what, they would have got absolutely slaughtered for saying that.
Yeah,
I would have done. If I'd have been a player, I'd go, this is how much they value Christian Eriksen's life. This is what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but one thing that really pissed me off about the whole thing, now, with it was shocking regardless, right? Because you don't like to see shit like that, right? But I don't know if you guys have paid attention to the whole Chris Wheatley Romano kind of feud that's gone online. Like, it's embarrassing, really, but like.
God.
Fabrizio was simply doing his job as a journalist, being that he's there for the Euros and stuff.
Right.
Like and updating everybody on like what's going on.
Yep.
Right? Because that's his job as a journalist.
Yeah.
If he doesn't do that, he gets sacked. Simple.
Yeah.
So, and then
his job is to report what's going on. That's simple.
Exactly. And Chris Wheatley had the balls to come up on Twitter and say, "Shame on you. Anything for likes and follows."
What?
And I'm just like,
says the person that said when Dwayne was over the line for Arsenal weeks ago.
I know.
but-
I know. It's
So,
like,
so I've got a problem with that. I've got a problem with that, Colin. And when they turn around and go, "Oh, the journalists shouldn't be doing this and the journalists shouldn't be doing that," and you had people who were on a live stream and people going on that live stream and saying, "Look, you've got to stop this and you've got to stop that. You've got to come off the live stream and this, that, and the other." And the very same people who wanted you to shut down the live stream would have been buggering off to Sky Sports to find out what's going on.
yeah.
You know what I mean? But they do talk. There are people out there who just take offence for no good reason whatsoever. Everybody wanted to know what was happening with Christian Eriksen, and the wonderful thing was those people who stayed online, who stayed on the stream, kept the streams running, were able to bring some good news, which is great.
Yeah.
And the people who are moaning about that,
at the end of the day, Warren, yeah, Fabrizio Romano was just doing his job.
yeah, exactly that.
That's what he was doing.
His job is to report.
Exactly.
So what happens then? So let's get it this way. Let's look at it like this. So there's a war on, right? Somebody drops bombs on a village. You get where I'm going here. Somebody drops bombs on a village that they shouldn't. We don't report it and we just bury it. Is that how it works? You know what I mean? I don't care if you can make anything unpalatable. You can make anything an issue over anything. You can take offence at me taking offence. You know what I mean? It's not going to change a damn thing. At the end of the day, people would have just turned Sky Sports News on to try and find out what's happened. And there would have been more hits and more chat going over YouTube and over Twitter. Now, isn't it better that you have somebody who's informed, putting it out there? Because there were people out there, turning around and going, "Oh, it was because of COVID." That was floating about on Twitter. Much better that people are there, get the information, and then they can give it nice and straight. Because otherwise, all sorts of bloody things come out.
Yeah, and do you know where all this stems from as well, Warren? Yeah.
Yeah.
In regards to Chris Wheatley and Fabrizio, yeah.
Yeah.
All this is, from Chris Wheatley's point of view, is jealousy. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Like, it's not even. Every time Fabrizio tweets, I see Chris Wheatley in his mentions. Like, are you in his? Is Fabrizio in your head that bad that you have to? You feel the need to tweet him every single second of every single day. Really?
Anybody would think he shagged his missus or something, wouldn't he? The way he goes on. You know what I mean?
At the end of the day, right? Fabrizio's just doing his job, right? When he said, when he reports on stuff that's going on in the transfer window, right? For instance, the Jadon Sancho thing, right? It's public knowledge that United went after him last year, and they're doing it again, right? And being that Fabrizio works for Sky, that's a big story. Obviously, Sky want the jump on it, so Fabrizio's job is to put that out there. And when fans ask him questions about their own clubs, transfer business, he's always polite. He'll give it to you straight. He'll say this in the works, but there's obviously caveats to it and stuff. He's not going to be. He's not going to bullshit you. He's not one of these clickbait. He's not one of these clickbait journalists that go, "Yeah, this is definitely on." I guarantee you, Chris Wheatley has clickbaited for clicks and likes.
Oh,
guarantee you he has, right? Because no journalist doesn't.
No.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. You're saying about that, and there's a point made by Pete in the chat. Saying that there was people on YouTube joking it was on the Man United channel, and that's and that's fine. But do them for malicious content, because anybody was joking about that. Joking about what was.
What's going to go? But you get I think we'll get the what. Wait till he comes back. And we can.
Yeah, it's embarrassing either way, though.
Yeah, but we get the gist of where one was going with that. Yeah, literally anything like that, you just report it, and obviously YouTube straight away take it down, and then they fucking get strikes or whatever. I don't know what the actual process is, but they'll get in trouble basically for doing what they've done. Because no one should be doing that, and obviously they've done that. They've got on the head if they're doing that.
I know. It's like, what does Wheatley want for Bristol to do? Not do his job.
Oh, no, God forbid. God forbid he tells us something good and positive on the situation. God, I mean, Jesus. It's
Like,
all jealousy because he wasn't the one that broke it.
Exactly. And it's funny because he deleted that tweet, but you see, in the digital age, right? Nothing's gone forever, bro. People will screenshot that shit quick. Believe me.
And while we're on the subject of that, you know, how quick are we to get rid of people? When you look at, say, for instance, the Ollie Robinson thing. You know what I mean? When people have got tweets out there from 10 years ago or whatever, some 18-year-old kid said something stupid. Well, you know, if I don't, okay, unpleasant, unsavoury, wrong, you know, but he was 18. What 18-year-old, when he's had a few, hasn't said something wrong or hasn't, you know, grown up since then? I'm not a big fan of historic digging in tweets and people getting dumped for it. If they've clearly changed their way of thinking, their way of life, as Ryan was pointing out the other day, as you grow up, your views on things change, you know, and you start to be slightly different. And I think that's just, I think that a young lad, or not a young lad, but he's 27, 28, and now he's banned from playing for England, and now he's been sacked by his cricket, you know, by Sussex County Cricket Club. And you're just like, really? You know what I mean? And the thing that really gets me here as well is they went after him when he suddenly started.
Oh, it's gone again. Oh dear. You in and out.
The point that, like, you know, Warren's making, right? This whole cancel culture thing, yeah, that shit needs to stop, man.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
because hell, I've said stupid shit. Like, do I regret saying some of those things? Yeah. I've said things about Arsene Wenger in the past that I shouldn't have.
Mate, we've all said horrific things in the past. I'm sure we all have. I know I have. I know that 30 years ago, I was a totally different individual and I didn't give a flying stuff what anybody thought. You know, and you've got Pete there. Some footballers fined heavily for a bad tweet he did when he was 14. He was 14. Where do you draw the line here? You know? And it's hypocrisy at best, because you get half these lefty snowflakes, or whatever you want to call them, or you know, these weirdos, or these people out there. And you know what? The moment they say something because somebody disagrees with them, the moment they say something unsavoury, you never see them getting taken down or getting, you know, they don't lose their job or their livelihood or whatever. And in most cases, they're just free to run around and do what they want. There's plenty of bad in the world that is there right out in the open with really bad people to stop you going after other people who've just said something absolutely stupid when they were like 12 or 13. You know, there's enough real bad people in the world. Sorry, guys, rant over.
No worries. You've got a point, and then Pete goes on to say some jobs go back and vet your social media. What's that got to do with a job? A guy at 13 is different to a guy at 25. It's something we always do. Have basically touched on. Every few years, you evolve, you change your mindset change. You grow up. Some don't. They get worse, but most of us do. We are growing up about things.
But there again, you see, that's where you need a tech-savvy agent, because you need your agent to go back and go, right, everything that you ever tweeted, we're wiping that account completely clean. We're gonna just, you know, delete the whole account, and you start again from scratch. Because, you know, there might be something back in your post. What are you going to do every year? Go and delete your account and restart a new one, in case some 18-year-old who, let's face it, has never got out of his bedroom, who's still jerking off to the Littlewoods catalogue, decides he's going to go back and trawl through all your tweets because suddenly the pages are all stuck together and he can't get on with it tonight. So he's going to go through somebody famous all through his tweets till he finds something. Then he's going to make about 50 different accounts. He's going to fire it on Twitter so that it all gets trending, and then everybody else is going to jump on a bandwagon. This shit has got to stop. Colin's right. This cancel culture has to stop because there's no ending to it.
See, when you go back through your own tweets, right?
Oh, yeah.
They're actually funny to look at.
Yeah.
Because I was looking at mine I was just looking at some of my old ones the other day, right? And honest to God, some of them legit I was dying of laughter at some of them because I was just like, I can't believe I tweeted that shit. What was I thinking? Like, there's points where you just think, if only there was a guy to stop me from doing that beside me at all times.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you're a young kid, man. That's what happens.
Yeah.
Like, you don't, like, way into the future, right? You'll look back on those things you said years ago, and you'll laugh.
Yeah.
You'll laugh.
Why did I say something so daft?
Because you'll just think, why did I do that?
Yeah. But here's the thing, Cole. Here's the thing that really gets you. Where does the line stop? Do you know what I mean? When is it enough? Because I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want your apology. They don't want you reading out. That's not enough for them. That's not enough for them. The fact that I'm sorry for something I said 10, 15 years ago is not enough for them. They still keep coming after you. They can't. They're misery peddlers. Until you're fired out of the job you've got, until your life is in the toilet, it's never enough. And then they move on to the next victim.
Yeah.
You know, it's not enough for them. You come out and apologise. They want you ended.
Well, as we said, what was it the other day? This came up. I mentioned, what was it, Andre Gray when he was at Burnley. Someone dug out tweets when he was like 13, 14, whatever it was.
Oh, my life.
And I'm like, seriously? And he had to fucking come out in public and apologise, and he got fined for it.
Yeah. It's crazy. Why are you... See, I'd turn around and go, why are you fining someone for something they said 10 years ago? Or 15 years ago.
They wasn't even contracted in the personal game at the time, and this that never. Not like they said it now. Like it's like fresh news.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And this is why footballers have like agents running their Twitter accounts now.
Yeah.
Because they're not gonna put their own opinions out there. Number one, because they play for a club, and number two, because they have to look professional in front of the public.
Yeah.
So they'll get people to run it for them. But still, finding the likes of Andre Gray for something he said like 10 years ago. What was he, 13 at the time?
13, 14 years of age, yeah. I mean,
exactly. It's like, bro, I've said stupid shit at 13. It's like what I said earlier.
Yeah.
You'll look back at that in 10, 15 years' time and you'll laugh at it because it's hilarious.
Yeah.
But Cole, here's the thing. These people get off on this. They're misery peddlers. They actually actively go looking and spend hours and days doing this. So they get off on it. You know what I mean? It's their power trip. Oh, I wonder if we can, 40 or 50 of them get together. I wonder if we can get so-and-so cancelled. That would be a blast, wouldn't it? You know what I mean?
That's because they've got no lives and they've got nothing in their lives worth looking forward to. Like,
exactly that.
Like, seriously, like, I don't know, instead of trying to make others' lives miserable, how about, I don't know, going for a walk? It's a good idea. How about
go up the road and help an old lady carry back her shopping or something?
Go down the pub and, find some people to get along with. I would say have a drink with your mates, but you probably don't have any.
No, exactly. And what's more, they probably don't drink, mate, and they're probably not unsure of what toilet they're going to use when they go to the loo. You know what I mean?
Well,
we are breeding a whole new I'm sorry, I'm going to say this. Yeah, Mark said snowflakes and woke culture. You know what? We are breeding a whole lot of professional offence takers who are. Oh, how can I put it? God help them if anything ever bad really happened in their lives. I mean, they'd end up committing suicide because they just don't have the moral fortitude to deal with it. You know what I mean? These people are shocking.
More than I'd be like more worried for their mental health and stuff. Like,
yeah.
Like, I mean, just to put it like into perspective and shit, right? People go on about, you know, the whole mental health thing, right? It's a big topic at the minute, yeah.
Yep.
But
yeah,
your mindset is down to one, how you live your day-to-day life, and two, if you can be bothered to do anything about it. And I guarantee you, most of these people cannot be asked to do anything about it. And then when they complain, it's like, oh, woe is me, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
I'm just like, well, maybe if you actually put some effort into making your life better, you might actually get somewhere. But you don't, so it's like, why the fuck should I care?
Do you know the other thing with that as well is then eventually these people eat themselves. You know what I mean? They'll eat each other in the end because that always happens.
Yep.
Spain has just had another chance, by the way.
That's good defended from Sweden, to be fair.
Yeah. Definitely, you're absolutely right. Bollocks to a lot of them. I was caught up on the Sex Pistols as well.
You're about to see some good goalkeeping as well. We've got 6 more minutes, by the way, of this.
Oh God, this is dire, isn't it? Why have we got 6 minutes?
Spain are not going to win this tournament. No way in hell.
Not a chance.
They are not winning a tournament playing like this. If they cannot break, quite frankly, a poor Sweden side down, then they've got no chance when they come up against the likes of France, Portugal, England, Italy. Like, honestly, if Spain got through, I don't know if they would, but if they got through and they faced Italy, Italy would spank them. It would be a horror show of a job, really.
I think if they faced any of the top 8 sides, they get spanked.
Yep.
I couldn't see them, but I can't see this lot beating Portugal. Couldn't see them beating Germany. Oh, brilliant. I'm not happy that Sweden aren't at least leaving one up top.
Good defending. That's the only plus. We've seen some good defending from Sweden because Spain have been utter gash.
We sit down to Morata as well, and he's fucking missed the tournament so far.
Yeah.
I mean, how's
6 minutes about the dawn time. Where is the 6 minutes coming from?
No idea. It's your way for giving Spain a chance to get a goal.
I'm not being funny, lads, right? But I genuinely think Scotland played better than this today.
Yeah,
I'm not being funny, but this is because Spain have had to send so many people home. They're now getting a COVID delay reaction time, in which they're getting an extra 5 minutes because they've had players suffer from COVID.
Oh, God.
And then what they're going to do is, with a minute to go, the entire stadium is going to stand up and clap and bang saucepan lids.
Yeah. So what we're saying, lads, this has been the worst game of the tournament so far?
Oh, yeah.
So far.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, give me strength.
I mean, North Macedonia and Austria was better than this.
Oh, dear,
you know
Spain just not working for them tonight. Oh,
they just can't hit a barn door, can they?
No.
You're about to see something about the next minute or two, and you're going to be like, fucking hell.
Yeah, I just seen it. Like, it went across, and oh my, that's a good save.
I've just seen the save with the feet. Is there something else coming up?
That's a really good save from Olsen there. Gerard Moreno's in, and he has to react quick.
In the 90s, around the 93rd, around 92, 50 something, ball comes in from Spain, and the ball falls to, I can't think of his. I think it's Moreno. I can't remember his name now. And it hits off his knee. And he goes nice and easy into the goalkeeper's hands.
Oh, Pete, you're trying to cause controversy there, aren't you? But Pete's being provocative.
Do you know what? Right, I'm just
poking the bear.
I'm gonna listen. I'm letting that slide. All right, I'm letting that slide. Right, to say that we're on North Macedonia's level is a bit harsh.
No, but just going back to it,
I've got to say,
North
Pete,
Macedonia gave.
How have they fucked that? Jesus!
Thank you. You've seen it now.
They couldn't hit a 12-pound pussy, could they? Honestly, couldn't hit a 12-pound pussy with a sledgehammer, Spain.
Who would have thought back in 2008, 2012, and 2016 that this is the Spain we've come accustomed to years later?
I'm not.
Pete, that's not a very nice thing to say, mate.
Bro, I'm not even joking. I genuinely think Lyndon Dykes would get a game for Spain if he was Spanish.
Yeah,
and he still hit a barn door.
that's a bit over the top.
No, yeah, we mentioned that Macedonia thing, yeah.
Bit over the top, but still, the point stands though. Spain are just not gonna like. They're not. Nah. They're not winning the tournament. They're not winning this. They're not.
No,
of course they're not. They're not.
We are literally in the last few seconds of the game now, on my end, and it's just dire, absolute.
Sweden have got to be so happy with this, aren't they?
What the fuck they'll just touch your hand off. Clean sheet and
they will take a point against Spain
all day long. All day long.
Point and a clean sheet. You can't complain. Who's Sweden?
No.
I can see Slovakia beating Spain. I can.
Well, fucking playing like this, yeah, Jesus. I think I could see Poland beating fucking Spain. Look at them.
Kane's not going to get dropped, mate. No. Harry Kane is the captain. They're not going to drop the captain. Simple as that. Unless he's injured, Kane's playing.
He's the modern day Adam Shearer.
On that, lads, right? If you pick your starting 11 for England, right, your preferred starting 11, and we'll talk about this now because there's absolutely nothing going on in the game, right? If you picked your preferred starting 11, who would be in that?
Full time, by the way.
Okay, I'm going to turn around and tell you now. It wouldn't be Pickford. It would be Henderson. It would be left back instead of Trippier would be Chilwell. And I would be dropping Sterling, and I would be playing Foden on the right, Mount on the left, and Grealish as the attacking centre midfielder.
All right. What about you, Ryan?
Again, don't like Pickford. Don't like him as a goalkeeper thing. Yesterday, he's making fucking stupid. He's getting the ball and hoofing it back to their fucking midfield. So get Henderson in. At the three options we've got Henderson in goal, and then Trippier at right back. I'm trying to think now. Centre back partnership at the moment would have to be Mings and Maguire at the moment, and then Chilwell or what's his name? The other one, Luke Shaw. One of them two. I don't mind either one of them two. I wouldn't mind as left back. And then trying to think the pivot of now. Probably go with the pivot we had yesterday, in the sense of Declan Rice and I can't remember his name now. I can't remember his name. What was his? Kelvin Phillips. That's the one.
Yeah.
Play them because they know it's Croatian. It's not the greatest. They're not the greatest team in the world, but it did seem to work. Again, look at the options that we have taken. Assuming, but you're basing it on the squad we take to the tournament. That would be the pivot I'll go for, and then I'll go trying to think now. See, I'll have Grealish in the sort of the number 10 sort of the creative midfield role.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think now. Bear with me. Fucking analysis is hard. And then I've. I'm not sure about Sancho at international level yet. It's still early days for him.
I'll be having Foden and Mount.
That's it, Foden and possibly Sterling just for the experience, and then down the middle, Oh, anyone but Kane, but I looks at it. I'm trying to think. Calvert, not Calvert-Lewin is still way daydream.
You're welcome, Steve.
I'll do Watkins at the moment at the options we've got.
Yeah.
And then again,
Right,
in terms of subs, you've got the likes of Saka, Mason Mount. We've got good options coming off the bench. I would have even took Jesse Lingard actually to this tournament and James Ward-Prowse. So we've got options.
Can
And if you take
I just say
James,
very quickly?
Yeah, go on.
Can I just say very quickly, guys, that if there's anybody out there, and there are mental health issues, I understand that. If there are people out there suffering from insomnia, please give me a call. I've got the perfect antidote for you because I've actually recorded this game. I'll just send you a DVD of it. It'll only cost you $9.99.
Oh, brilliant.
Oh my god!
Brilliant.
Don't hold back one. Tell us what you feel.
Yeah.
Oh dear, but so
On the spot, right? Like, I mean, I'm looking at our lineup from today, right? And I'm thinking, like, there's a couple of players in there that need to be dropped, right? Hendry needs to be dropped first and foremost, right? That shot that led to the Czech Republic's goal, nah, you're not out of that straight away. The right wing back, O'Donnell's dropped as well, right? Because I know you guys noticed this. How dreadful was O'Donnell?
Oh, don't. You know, non-existent.
How bad was he? I know how bad he is. But
oh yeah, he was.
Exactly. Lyndon Dykes is getting dropped as well.
No, of course, for Che Adams.
Like, horrendous, right? If I'm honest, I can't see Steve Clark changing the formation because it served him well, right? If Tierney's back, then for me, the back three, I'd keep Hanley in that because he actually looked okay.
Yeah.
But the two other ones would be Scott McKenna and Kieran Tierney.
Yeah. What is the issue with Tierney, by the way? Because I didn't have the sound on, so I don't know what actually happened.
It's just a little niggle, mate. It's not.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Nothing to
If
worry about then.
If Tierney's ready to go, then it's McKenna and Tierney alongside Hamley. Right?
Oh, okay.
And then you've got the five. Nathan Patterson is at right wing back. I don't care about the fact that he's 19. Stephen O'Donnell is shite. End of discussion.
Fucking
John McGinn.
Yeah, O'Donnell against Saka. That'd be a balls laugh.
Yeah. O'Donnell against fucking Saka. Brilliant.
Sorry, I got drop out there. I missed some of that conversation.
John McGinn, he keeps his place in midfield. He does.
Yeah.
He's one of our better players. It'd be madness to drop him. Scott McTominay, he keeps his place as well because he actually wasn't too bad. Robertson, he keeps his place. Ryan Christie keeps his place. And I'd probably... Stuart Armstrong I'd keep in as well because I don't think he did too bad. The striker that plays up front ahead of Christie because I want to see Christie in the number 10 spot. I feel like it should either be Che Adams or Forrest. One of the two. Definitely not Lyndon Dykes.
No.
If it's Lyndon Dykes, we're fucked. Right?
Lyndon Dykes are winning 4-5-0.
And if I'm picking it based on, I mean, who knows? We may not even have to. We may not even play Ryan Christie, although I think we should because that not playing Ryan Christie would be madness. But the option for him to play two up front is there. with Forrest and Shea Adams. Although, if I'm honest, I would rather we play James Forrest because him and Ryan Christie have worked together at Celtic in the past, and I feel like relationships between players at club level
be key.
can sometimes translate to international level, and that's
Cole, would you change the goalkeeper or Marshall? Or do you think he's not in over his head?
No, I wouldn't change Marshall, and the reason being is Turnbull is only a kid. Like I wouldn't. I don't want Craig Gordon anywhere near that side. Right?
Yeah.
And I do not want Turnbull in that team against England, because can you imagine this? And a kid being thrown into our biggest game against England, right? He doesn't have a good game, and then he just fades away into nothing and goes to one of these like mid-table like Scottish Championship sides.
Or the other side of the coin, of course, is he has an absolute worldie, and on the basis of that one worldie game, some big side goes and buys him before he's ready to play.
Yes,
do you know what I mean? Suddenly he becomes a superstar.
Do you throw him in there and hope and pray that he has a blinder, or do you ease him in gradually? For me, I'm easing him in gradually.
Oh, yeah, ease him in gradually. But what I'm saying is, if they do chuck him in, the other side of that coin, he has a blinder, and then all of a sudden the big club comes in, buys him, and then they throw him in their first team before he's ready, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's a double-edged sword, isn't it?
Yeah. There is also the idea that we could put Billy Gilmore into midfield.
Yeah.
Which he's a good player. So
but is he ready at international level, do you think?
I'm not too sure. I've not
in against international midfielders, I mean.
See, the thing is, it's one thing putting them in against qualifiers, but against teams in the qualifiers, right? But putting them in against England, like for me, I'd want a settled side mostly against England. And right now, I would not change too much about that side. The only things I would change are the two centre backs next to Hanley, the wing back, and Lyndon Dykes. But that's four. That's only four. That's only four changes I'm making. Other than that, I'm keeping the same squad.
I think Forrest has to play from what he has to start, given what I saw in the first. When he came on.
When he came on today, he was.
We can't play Lyndon Dykes, Warren. We can't.
No.
That guy can't hit a barn door.
No, he can't. He can't.
Like the chance he missed, right, where he aims it straight at the goalkeeper. I'm sorry, you've got to be banging that, bro. You've got to be scoring that. Come on.
This is true. Fellas, I've got to be up at 5 in the morning. So I'm going to say good night. I'm going to say thank you ever so much for your company and all the people who are in the chat as well. And if you are there listening, bang up the likes, because this is these guys really do a wonderful effort, these two lads tonight, and they've done brilliant for you. So bang up the likes and subscribe to Ryan's channel. And thank you very much for your time and having us on, guys. I've really enjoyed your company tonight. It's been a great discussion.
Yeah, absolutely no problem. Are you around tomorrow evening for the Germany v France?
I will be, mate. Yeah, absolutely.
Part of the group with the FRK. I'll send you the link tomorrow. Sort all that out.
Yeah, no worries. I'm going to have to rely on you. What's going on? Because I can't get ITV on my PlayStation 4.
Is it on ITV? Oh, for fuck's sake!
Honestly, mate, the only computer that they don't do it for is the PlayStation 4. They do it with the PlayStation 5, the Xbox. Everything gets ITV Hub, and I don't have ITV, so I'll be watching it on another stream and talking to you at the same time.
Multitasking. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. I'll see you soon, Ryan. Take care of yourself.
Take care, guys. Take care, Ryan. Take care, Cole. Look after yourself, boy.
Oh dear. So have you made you feel better, Colin? tonight.
I mean, all right. I said it in the beginning, right? That I'm not too downbeat. I'm still looking forward to Friday.
I think you'll get a result against us still.
The watch along on Friday is going to be entertaining.
Oh yes.
I mean, let's not get it twisted, right? Like as much as I've wanted Scotland to qualify for a tournament, right? Ryan's wanted it just as bad as me, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, and the reason being is because of like not normally there's banter between me and Ryan anyway, but the banter between me and Ryan on that
it's gonna be
will be next level, lads. Believe me, all right.
I wouldn't get the flags ready. These bad boys are coming down. The England flags are going up, mate.
Oh,
Shirts coming out and everything. I'm preparing.
you're such a prick.
You will do the same.
Yeah, I would. I can't even lie. Oh man. No, like I mean, like I said, we've there wasn't obviously the individual errors pissed me off. Stephen O'Donnell and Hendry not like and Lyndon Dykes not putting his chances away. I mean that chance in the second half where he aims and shoots the goalkeeper, like you got to score that.
Yeah, it's putting butter.
So
score it. Look at me.
Whether or not the changes happen that I want, like, because I don't want O'Donnell on the side, I don't want Dykes on the side, and I definitely do not want Hendry inside. If those changes are made, and Tierney, I think, will probably start. At least I hope he does it.
I think he will. But he's not that bad injured. I think there's a saving him for that game.
No.
Yeah.
But that said, I think we'll turn up against you because
the
one game we always turn up for, irrespective of the circumstances, right? We may not always win, but we'll always give it a go.
Yeah,
right?
just a tad.
It's this game.
Yeah.
And the truth is, the pressure.
When we last played you, who was the manager back then? When we last played you for qualifiers.
When we last played.
We last played you. Southgate just taken over as well.
Yeah, I think it was either it wasn't
It wasn't McLeish, was it?
No, it wouldn't have been Steve Clark. It would have been. It would either have been Gordon Strachan towards the tail end of his reign, or just at the start of Alex McLeish's reign.
I think it might have been Strachan. I can't remember now. I'll have to look into that. But even that, fucking what you're often first hand you say about Gordon Strachan. When we played you, fucking hell, you turned up, especially at Hampden Park. My fucking God, you got 2-0 up, didn't you? Leah Griffiths. Obviously, England pulled you back to 2. I think 2-2 in the end. Managed to come out 11 points somehow.
You got away with that one, mate. You got away with that one.
Just a tad. Jesus Christ. And even going back to Euro '96 itself, in that game, you guys did turn up for that game. You wanted to cause an upset in that, be the team that sort of beat England at Wembley. If it weren't for this man. If it wasn't for this man.
One game that I remember vividly, right? It was about a year after you won the World Cup, right? And
66,
The reason why I remember it, right, is because I got it on a disc in I think it was either the Daily Mail or the Sun before it became toxic. Right? And I watched that whole game, right? And the whole time I was like, nah. I knew the score, right? Because it was on the cover of the disc. But while I was watching it, I was like, you lot ain't scoring. You're not. But there's been points where we've just flopped against you. But there's also been points where you've gotten extremely lucky against us. And I think that last game under Strachan, when we played you, I think you'll agree that we were the better side in that game, quite comfortably.
Just a little bit, just a tad.
I mean,
I still can't believe we got a point out there.
Quite comfortably. Come on.
Well, I mean, I've got to make it hard for you. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
But as far as this game goes, I don't think it's going to be the same situation as that game. Oh, that's what it was. News of the World. I knew it was a fucking newspaper. Yeah, I knew it was in a fucking newspaper. I know because I've got the disc. Right.
We're watching it tonight.
Actually, no, I've watched it several times. Don't get me wrong, it never gets old. But you know,
you'll be watching it all day Friday in the build up.
No. You watch the same game more than once, mate. It's like, you don't watch the same game more than once. Like,
Wow, no.
I mean, do you watch the World Cup final in 66 more than once?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
We won it.
But I don't think this game will go the same way as the last game went. I feel like it'll be a tough game to start with, fairly cagey.
First 20 minutes, half hour, it will be, yeah.
Yeah, and I think you'll just edge it. And the reason I say that, right, it's not because of your manager.
Players.
Right? It's the players you've got. And the one thing that gives me hope, and I've said this to you multiple times,
The Southgate.
is your manager. That's what gives me hope.
Yeah, literally since the stream we did when you guys qualified.
I know.
All that payback from you've always said. I agree. I've got to say that's even then I was saying 100% because he hasn't got a clue.
Exactly. Like England fans can kind of like brush that under the carpet and be like, yeah, we'll be fine because of the quality we've got. But no, if you listen to other countries' fans, you'll realize that no, Southgate is a problem. Like, for instance, if you asked anyone who supports Italy, they'll tell you with a straight face that they don't fear England because of Southgate.
Yeah.
Like, they appreciate the players you've got, but they don't rate your manager.
No.
I don't rate your manager. And
I don't rate the manager.
The amount of Southgate gets a lot of praise for doing very little. Like, it's like I said earlier, what Steve Clarke has done is more impressive than
100%.
what Southgate's done, because Southgate got to a World Cup semi-final with pretty much an open goal. Like, you look at the teams you had to play against, I mean, you struggled in the majority of them games.
Oh, yeah. Colombia, for example.
I mean, Colombia, bro, you should have won that comfortably. And the fact that you didn't, that's an indictment of Southgate.
Yeah.
You were 1-0 up against Croatia in the semi-final, and you still lost.
Yeah, exactly. And we were dominating them for a while as well.
Exactly.
And then, suddenly, as I said, he changed tack. For some reason, at 1-0, he decided to go, no, ultra defence mode. For any FIFA gamers out there, ultra defence mode, sit back and soak it all up. Take all the attackers off, put those defenders on, hope for the best. And what happened? 1-0, 2-1.
And this is why, this is why England won't sack him. Do you know what? Because he is their Mikel Arteta. He is their Solskjaer.
Yeah.
That's it. And I know you started laughing when I said that, but
it's true though. That's the thing. I laugh because it's true.
That's the truth of it. Gareth Southgate is your Mikel Arteta. That's it.
Yay, another process.
Because Southgate's got very little experience as a manager, right? At least with Steve Clarke, you can look at it and go, yeah, he's managed West Brom. Yeah, it didn't go well for him, but he's managed a Premier League team.
Hmm.
He did really well with Kilmarnock. That's why he's got the job.
Yeah, exactly. They even said it at the time. That's why he got the job, because of what he achieved.
If I asked you, right, would you trade Gareth Southgate for Steve Clarke as manager of England? You'd take him in a heartbeat because he's a better manager than Southgate.
Yeah, exactly. Something out of a run.
There you go.
There you go. You can have Gareth. Yeah, he's a fantastic manager. Fuck off. Go. He'll do fantastic for you.
I don't think he'll want Gareth. Because, honest to God, the minute Gareth Southgate gets the Scotland job, I hope it doesn't happen, right? But
It'll never happen.
If it did, right, I can tell you now, our fans would chase him out of Hampden. I really do think that.
He might take a penalty for you.
Chase him out of Hampden with fucking pitchforks and knives. That's what they do.
Fucking hell. Jesus Christ. But I've been, like, I've been.
Speaking of which, right, if anyone's able to get that image, right, right, send it to me. I'll pay gladly to see it.
And we'll use it. And if England lose on Friday, we'll use it here on the channel as well. Shows about the
so if you're good with graphics, send it to your boy. I'll send it to Ryan. And when we win, right, when we'll put it up there.
On the other hand, obviously, who goes the opposite way, have a backup as well.
Yeah. No, but being realistic, Ryan, yeah. I'm not, as much as the banter is like, a good thing and whatnot, I'm not going into this thinking, we're definitely going to win. Right?
No.
Obviously, I say that that we are going to win because
deep down you want to, because that's your Scotsman. You want to win. Yeah,
that's what I want, right?
Yeah.
But being realistic, I mean, pre-tournament, I would have taken a draw, but anything other than a win now is not going to do.
This is what we were saying earlier. Literally, you're now with 2 games. We've got 2 games left. You've got to play us and Croatia, and then amongst all that, you've got to rely on Croatia. Croatia have Czech Republic to be a dull 0-0, basically. The dullest game, more than what we've got fucking watched tonight. Put it that way. And you've got to go and play Croatia, and then we job when fucking the English do a job on Czech Republic for you. That's the situation you're currently in.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, as I said, from the second we found out it was England and Scotland in the same group, I do reckon even now, even more so now, I do reckon you'll get a result against us. Because again, watching you today, you played good football. It was just that you had an idiot as a striker that doesn't take his chances, and a couple of idiots in and around him in the midfield and all that fucked things up for you.
Yeah. And when you look at it, like, this is probably the best Scotland side that there's been in a long time. And bearing in mind, I'm going back years, and I mean years, like, because I've lived through the horror that was the Bertie Vogts era. Oh my God.
The old early 2000s, who can forget?
Oh, horrendous time, right? I've been through the Walter Smith era, and that was good in parts, the double over France and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then you had the Alex McLeish era, which was good as well. The first time, not the second time.
Yeah. Sure, yeah.
And since then, we've just appointed managers on reputation, and it's not worked. And then I'm just sitting here going, yeah, like I didn't see that coming.
As I was going to say earlier, what was it? In terms of England's managers, again, I don't get why Southgate got the job. Why I was even interviewing, because he hadn't had a job, a senior top job, a job in general, basically, since he got sacked at Borough 10, 11 years prior to it. it seems like an arrogant thing from the English FA that they have to go down, they have to find an
do you know
English
what,
manager
right?
down at some way just to
If
give
you
them.
if you actually pay attention, right, with the youth setup at England, yeah. I believe it was around the time. It was before. It was before the World Cup where you got knocked out to Iceland.
Euros 2016.
I remember watching that, like under 21 Euros.
Oh, yeah,
right?
the top, but I'm saying like top level.
I know. That's what you meant. I'm making a point. Right? You could actually draw a line in the sand with whether Gareth Southgate's good or not. The fact that he couldn't beat a Portugal side in the under-21s that were in rebuild, right? And then Italy, who couldn't do it. And then you have, and he goes out, I think, it was the group stage of the under-21s.
Yeah. Sure, yeah, it was, yeah.
And he couldn't get through that. I realised he had a tough group. But
he had good players, at his disposal as well.
He had good players in the under-21s. Harry Kane played in that tournament.
Yep.
And this, I mean, don't get me wrong, he wasn't near the Harry Kane he is now. But he was still good.
Yeah.
Like he had, I think he had like, who else did he have? I don't know, but he had a good squad. He did. Gareth Southgate had a good squad in that under-21 tournament.
I think Sterling was around in and around that squad at the time as well. I'm trying to think who else. Wilshere was just moving on from that being under 21 level.
Yeah. Well, hold on. I'll look it up, right? I'll look it up. See if we can get this up, right?
Sure.
Okay, the under-21 squad. Here we are. You had Harry Kane. You had John Stones.
Yeah, Man City. Yeah, obviously Everton at the time or whatever. Yeah.
You had Saido Berahino, and this was when Berahino was actually good.
Yeah, well, this is when he was on point basically, and everyone wanted him.
Yeah. You had Danny Ings.
Yeah.
Ross Barkley, Sterling, and Ox were eligible, but they weren't selected. Right? Callum Chambers.
Yeah.
Jack Butland.
That's still on the was.
Eric Dyer, Carl Jenkinson, and Ruben Loftus-Cheek. You had Patrick Bamford, Nathan Redmond, and Alex Pritchard. Right?
Yeah.
And in that tournament, like, are you telling me that you couldn't have won that with those players? You had Kane, Stones, Berahino, Danny Ings, and Chambers, Butland, Dyer, Jenkinson, and Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Bamford, Redmond, and Alex Pritchard, not to mention the other ones that were in and around there as well.
Yeah.
That aren't listed. That should tell you everything you need to know right there.
Yeah. Yeah. A few months later. A few months later, it's the England job.
Yeah. You had James Ward-Prowse in there as well, by the way. Jesse Lingard. You had Michael Keane, Will Hughes.
Rashford?
Don't think Rashford was in.
He'd been around that age, wouldn't he? But young enough to be in that. Yeah.
No. Well, no. That was before that season. He broke into Man United that season.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
But still, you've still got notable names there. You got Jack Butland, Carl Jenkinson, Luke Garbett, John Stones, Ward-Prowse, Kane, Redmond, Michael Keane, Jesse Lingard, Danny Ings, Callum Chambers, and Ruben Loftus-Cheek, all of which were Premier League players.
Yeah. Established Premier League players as well. Most of them, anyway. But Kane was just coming through. I can understand that. But Berahino, as he said, literally at that time, was scoring for fun at that level and 21 level, and he was like the hot property that everyone wanted from West Brom. Then he went to Stoke and fucked it up.
Yep.
Where's he been playing now? I don't know. I don't know if he's at Stoke still or not.
Who, Berahino?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he's abroad.
What's bad as well.
I think
He just fell off a cliff, didn't he? He never sort of recovered.
Do you know what it was? It was the fact that he wasn't going to play for West Brom again, and then Tony Pulis fucked him off.
Mm.
Yeah. He's playing for Belgian club Charlie Oy on loan from Zoltawar Gem.
Oh my God, give it. Jesus, what a weird nose like that is. Jesus Christ. Okay, now. I think with that we need to wrap things up because I've got to get some sleep. I'm red raw.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, got to prepare ourselves for Friday. We will be back tomorrow. I might do a double watch along. I'm definitely doing the Germany versus France watch along. Are you around for that one, Colin? At least.
What?
Can't be worse than this game anyway.
No. It can't be. Physically impossible. Spain won't win shit.
It's 8 o'clock kickoff for the main event.
All right, so Hungary, Portugal. There's no way I'm watching that.
No. And then Germany v France. 8
That'll be interesting.
Mm.
France will more than likely win that. But I don't know if I'll be on for that.
We'll chat to you at a day tomorrow and see how it goes.
We'll wait and see.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, cool. But you're definitely on Friday, so that's going to be fun.
Oh, no.
No matter what happens to you, at the end of that stream, guys, we're going to have a very happy Scotsman or a group of very happy Englishmen. You could be ahead of.
And you know the rules, all right? I'm not going to be one of these dickheads who, after we lose, if we lose, hops off stream, never to be seen again. I'm going to front it like I'm going to front it.
He's not going to do a Sophie.
No. I'm going to front it, yeah, and just accept it, right?
Yeah. In terms of when I mentioned Sophie, if you know, you know. It's basically he was on the Don Robbie channel a few weeks ago, the FA Cup final. Tielemans scores, he walks off in a strop. They win the final whistle goes, he gets up and walks out, doesn't even congratulate the lead chappie and his team winning the FA Cup, just walks out and don't make everything about her. Doesn't own it. And then when it comes to the Champions League, oh, Robbie, bend me over. Well, he probably did that on that night. Anyway, moving on, because I don't want to get sued by Robbie, even though I probably will be putting that clip up earlier, but it is what it is.
Probably doesn't even know who you are, mate, so I wouldn't worry about it.
But I wouldn't be surprised after what happened the other week with him and Mo and all that crap that's going off. But you could be seeing a hell of a lot of this, Colin, by the way.
You're such a coward, man.
You love it, though.
Yeah. And just a last word, yeah?
Yeah, go on.
When was the last time your club won a trophy? Stick that in your pipe, yeah?
Oh, Pete, yeah. Pete got into troll mode, yeah. I can see that. I can see it now. But you behave yourself, you know. Also, Pete, you're breaking rules. You're top of you have to pay to put in chats in this stream.
Yeah. You got to pay the toll. Anyway, I'm off, right? I'll see you later.
No worries. And yeah, as everyone else, basically see you later. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Smash the like button, subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow for definitely for the Germany v France match. And as always, up the Arsenal. Come on, you Gunners.
Yeah.